Charlie Hildebrand is here. Travis Krinz here as well. Sports Lounge 221. It's been very hot recently. It is June. Feels like goddamn August. Hopefully August. Feels more like June. NBA Finals going on. Game 5 coming up on Monday. Games have not been particularly close. Game 3 was pretty goddamn good. Charlie, I saw the deal. I saw a tweet for Game 3, and it applies also for Game 4, that the 2 games in Cleveland is what the NBA All-Star Game would look like if they actually played.
I think there's a lot of truth. I think that's a fair statement.
Back and forth, 137 to 116 on Friday night. Cleveland finally wins. Golden State, they come from behind in Game 3, 11-0 run in the final 3 minutes to beat Cleveland to go up 3-0. Heard a lot of people talking this weekend and saying it doesn't matter, it's over. Would you be one of those people saying, well, Golden State's probably going to wrap this up in 5 games on Monday night?
I would agree with that. Part of it may be me being selfish and hoping that both your and I prediction of Golden State in 5 comes true exactly on the nose. Although I don't think Klay Thompson's probably going to end up being MVP, like I guess. But yeah, I think that it's very likely they will. And then, like we were sort of discussing before the show, I guess it was you that made the point, so I will allow you to make it regarding Game 5. But I am certainly in agreement.
Golden State should probably win Game 5 because they probably shouldn't have won Game 3. And they sure as hell didn't win Game 4. You're not going to have Cleveland make 20 3-pointers again or 22 3-pointers again. But, going to a Game 6 in Cleveland and then coming back, it'd be 3-1 last year, 3-0 this year. A lot of Yankees, Red Sox sort of stuff from 2004. But Golden State would be well served to win this game coming up tomorrow night.
Yeah, because in addition to what you said, you just also don't want it to be. I mean, I get that Game 7 would be at Golden State, so they'd have home field advantage. But I don't think you want to be playing and just being like, oh my God, we blew this lead last year. An even bigger lead we've been blowing this year, and they have all the momentum because they've won 3 straight games. And, doubting ourselves and all that stuff. But yeah, I don't think it's going to matter, though, because I think Golden State's going to win by like 15 in Game 5, wrap up the series.
There'll be a lot of talk
Maybe,
about
the Fo-Fo-Fo-1 Warriors when they were so close to being the Fo-Fo-Fo-Fo Warriors.
A lot of talk about where Golden State is and if they're better than last year, or how you characterize what they've done this playoffs. Maybe the best playoff run we've ever seen. What's the question, or how do you characterize Golden State as far as? Yeah.
I think, assuming they win on Monday, I would say they probably have the most impressive postseason run ever. I don't know if in the early, first 10 years of the NBA, if anyone went undefeated in the playoffs, when I think they had fewer rounds, but certainly in the last 40 years, there have been a couple of teams that have finished with just one playoff loss. But, and then I guess, and if they went on Monday, they would join that group. But I would say that this is, if they do, I think this would be more impressive than, I think it was the Lakers in 2000, 2001, somewhere around there. They only lost once. And I know there was somebody else that did, but I'm blanking on who it is now.
How did you compare Golden State to the rest of these teams here? What point did you make?
I think, and this is not compared to the rest of the NBA. This is just compared to the other
everybody
10, 15, 20 greatest NBA teams ever. That I do not think that Golden State is the best team ever. I think you can make a case for it. But I think there's a few other teams I think might be better. But I think their ceiling is higher than anybody else's, just because they are so prolific at shooting 3-point shots and have been, and are just more so now with Kevin Durant. That more, even more so than, or when you compare him to the really good 90s Bull teams, or the 80s Lakers or Celtics, or the 60s Celtics, or, the Fo-Fo-Fo 76, or some of the other really good teams, is that, they're really good and they have, superstars that can do things. But with Golden State, it's different because if they get hot, and then I don't mean like normal hot, but like really hot shooting threes. Like I don't think there's anything you can do. You just have to, like when they get in the groove, you're just done. You have to hope that somehow you can get in someone's head and hope they miss or something like that. Because if they get hot, they're going to score 75 points from 3-point range, and it's just incredibly difficult to stop that because obviously 3-point shots are worth more than 2-point shots.
Golden State had a bad game on Friday and they scored 116 points. They had a bad game on Game 3 on Wednesday night, and they scored like 118 points. Their bad games are scoring 115. Their good games are scoring 130. So we'll see what Cleveland can do here, but I think this wraps up in. I really hope they curb stomp them by 40 points. I hope they just absolutely destroy Cleveland in Game 5 and end the whole deal forever. But Cleveland awfully impressive what they did on Friday with all the 3-pointers. But here's all you need to know about this series. They had a 19-point lead to begin the quarter, and we were like, well, Golden State, they could probably come back. That's all you need to know as far as, they're up 20 points, and they got like on a little 5-6-0 run in the first 60 seconds. You're like, oh shit, are they going to come back and win this thing and outscore them by 20 points in the next 10 minutes? Well, yeah. Well, if it's the other way around, if Golden State has a 20-point lead at the beginning of the fourth quarter tomorrow night, game's done. But the other way around, you're like, well, they could probably come back because they have before.
Yeah, we had Game 4 on at work, and it wasn't until it was, like 4.5 minutes left in the game, and they were down like 18, where I was like, okay, they're probably not going to win this game. And the entire time before that, I'm not saying I expected Golden State to win, but I fully expected it to be,
10-point
a 5-point game at the very end, and it was just going to come down to one possession.
So Cleveland, that's what Cleveland has to do. If they hit 23 pointers, they got a pretty good chance to win. So if they hit more 3-pointers than any team has ever hit in the history of the finals, they got a good chance to win. If they don't, probably not going to win this one. Game 3, Cleveland's for the taking, up by, 10 points, 5 points with whatever the hell it was. No points in the final 3 minutes. They're 0 for 8. LeBron throws it to Kyle Korver, who's a great shooter. Doesn't make the 3. I think it would have put him up 5. Basically clinched the game with about 50 seconds to go. Kyrie Irving dribbles 1,000 times, takes a terrible shot. That doesn't make it. Warriors win by 5. My criticism and others' criticisms would be LeBron James didn't take a shot in the final couple minutes there. Is this a fair criticism? Do you have these same questions with his team? Not even behind, but ahead with a chance to clinch a win here. And he's passing a Kyle Korver, who's fine, but I like LeBron to do what he does every other time and drive to the basket.
I would say I think it's fair to bring up questions about it. I don't think it's universally, or I don't think it should be universally, that he necessarily did something wrong. I mean, when you've got, an open 40% 3-point shooter, like that's a pretty good, or usually it's a good idea to pass it out to him. But I certainly think that it's worth mentioning, or at least wondering, like, maybe I wonder, if he should have tried. I mean, I don't know if they would call the foul or not, if he would have driven in, who knows. But he's trying that. And, I mean, there are other players who, in big moments and in huge games, pass the ball to great effect when it ended up working. And then, obviously, there have been times, it's been, this isn't the only guy that's done it, but just, growing up when we grew up, I was thinking Kobe Bryant, just like doing over dribbles, a step in front of half court for 18 seconds and then taking 2 steps and jacking up an incredibly long 3 and making it. You're just like, yep, I guess when you're better than everybody else, you can do that sometimes. So I think, I don't know, but that's just for the Korver one. But at some point, Kyrie's pretty good on offense, but you probably, there's times where you'd be like, yeah, but I think we want someone else to take this shot here.
Triple-doubles every night.
What do you think about it?
Yeah, triple-doubles every night. He's got to be taking those shots. He's got you this far. He's playing the entire game. Why would anybody else shoot? I know Kyrie Irving hit the big shot at the end of last year's finals. I know there's not a whole lot. I know LeBron's made game winners. There's not a whole lot that come to mind. There was one shot against Orlando in the playoffs. That was pretty much a prayer.
That was the first one that popped into my head, at least of playoff ones.
And that wasn't like they've got the ball. And that wasn't like, they've got the ball with 10 seconds. And it was like they had the ball with like a couple seconds, and he just had to like catch and shoot. They had like no time, like 1 second left. And that was just more of a desperation. Well, I hope it goes in. And it did. So besides that, there's not like, if I asked you, hey, that LeBron James game winner, you remember that one? You're like, no. What game would that be? Well, if I ask you, hey, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, all these other guys, they have those shots. So, Mike, if we're looking at the Lakers, and I'd say, well, who do you think's going to get the last shot here? Any team over the past 10 or 12 years, let's say they're in that same situation Cleveland was in. Who do you think's taking that shot? We know who's taking that shot. The Bulls, we know who's taking that shot. Cleveland, I know who's not taking that shot. So that's not great. So should probably be driving and getting fouled or something, because I like LeBron driving to the basket. That's a good percentage shot for him.
So, question, I don't know, just sort of a query about LeBron, I guess. I don't and I should stop. This isn't a deep point or anything like transcendent or anything, but in our lifetime, like the two guys I can think of as like the most cold-blooded assassin, games on the line, your favorite team's on defense. Who do you most want to not be taking a shot? The two guys I think of the most are Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant.
Yes.
Where Michael Jordan might be like the most
clutch,
like driven and motivated, or not just, I mean that too, but I mean like driven and motivated, and I'm going to win no matter what. Like maybe in the history of sports, period, not just basketball. And I think Kobe wasn't. I mean, I don't think anybody's was as strong as MJ's. I think Kobe had that too, though.
Yep.
And with LeBron, I kind of feel like I don't think he, and I should say that I think Michael and Kobe always had that. They've had that their whole life. I don't think that LeBron had that at all when he got to the NBA, and has had to develop it over the years. I think, a lot of times LeBron haters, especially earlier in his career, would chastise him for it and things like that. And I think at times it was valid, but I think he's kind of worked on it and developed it, and he's much better about it now. But it's not to the degree that 4 or 5 other guys in the NBA are, and not to say that they're all better players. I'm just strictly talking like the clutch, cold-blooded assassin. I'm going to win this game. I don't care how I'm going to have to do it. I just don't think he has it to the same degree because I don't know if he had it when he was younger and he's had to work on it. It's if you're not lucky to have been born with it, it's harder to develop it over the years. Does any of that sound reasonable, or is that crazy talk?
Yeah, I would say that would be accurate. He just doesn't have that. It's very interesting to watch him when there is adversity, and he hasn't really had much since he's made the finals for 7 years in a row. When they're down 3-0, or even when they're down 2-0, everybody's saying the series is over, and he gets kind of pissy with the media and all that, and that's interesting how he does that. And when he's down, because he gets, he becomes an asshole because, he's not winning, which is interesting. And like Jordan, he didn't go anywhere. He was staying with the Bulls, and if he wanted players, they're bringing players to Chicago for him to win. Kobe didn't go anywhere. If Kobe's staying with the Lakers forever for 20 years. And, I need Paul Gasol. I like to have some Paul Gasol here. I like to have these guys. I'm not going anywhere else to do that. So that's Jordan and Kobe over here. Then way on the other end, you got LeBron James. So probably the three best players that we've seen. And 2 of them are very similar. The other guy, not so much.
And think it's worth noting too that like Jordan and Bryant, other than that Kobe was a better 3-pointer shooter than Jordan was, are incredibly similar in all sort of like in their style, how they play, like the position they play. Where LeBron, like even though like he's as good, but isn't stylistically the same. And I think you've mentioned this before. He's more like Magic Johnson.
Yep.
I think that maybe some of it is that like the attributes and skills he possesses and the way he can be, a distributor and see the whole court, which is a good thing. But I think, maybe early in his career, maybe he was too reliant on that because the advantage of doing that is it's like, oh, well, two guys are covering me, so I'm just going to pass it to this open guy. And I think that's maybe part of the reason why, like I don't want to say like he shies away from the big moment, but he doesn't necessarily. I don't think he embraces it like Jordan or Kobe. But like I said, those two did it more than almost anybody else in NBA history. So I mean, this is basically just being like, oh yeah, you're good at hitting runs, but you didn't hit as many as Barry Bonds or Hank Aaron.
Like where was this? I know they hit a lot of 3-pointers, and it was a very physical game. I saw the second half, so I missed some of it. But there was a lot of technicals and Zaza Pachulia throwing punches at guys' nuts and just insanity all around in this game 4. It was all of a sudden like, oh, Cleveland, like, oh yeah, we have to win this game, so we're going to score 90 points in the first half. We have to win this game. It was like, where the fuck was this at? I mean, they played well in Game 3, but they let it slip away, and it's very tough to win at Golden State. But it seemed like Jesus, and they've done this in the playoffs a couple times to Boston and Toronto and teams they've played before. But it's like, Jesus Christ, they've talked about flipping the switch, and they'll flip the switch when it's on. And obviously they haven't been able to do that here in the finals. But it's like, where the fuck was this at? These first couple
Maybe
games.
It's just a Tyrone Lue thing.
What a great basketball mind he is. Yes. So it's like, where was this at? Hopefully we get more of that because last couple games have been very, very good. So this is it's been a good finals, kind of what I expected.
Yeah. Interesting, like you said, they've both been good. It's not very often that, and I don't remember what the final score was from the one on Friday, but I know the whole game wasn't close. But it's not very often that you see a blowout, and it's like, yeah, I don't know, it's still fun to watch. It was entertaining. So I mean that speaks to how well they both played, both in terms of like from an explosive standpoint, but also like in a precision standpoint too. You don't see very many games that are that high scoring at any level in any conference ever. So that was kind of fun.
Man, when you get 48 points at the first quarter and 86 at halftime, and you don't really play all that well in the second half, you only score like 50 points in the second half, and end up with 136. That's pretty good showing for Cleveland. So we'll have to wait and see. Monday night, Golden State. See if they can wrap it up at home. The hockey is on tonight, 3-2. It's in Nashville. This has been a series. It's been fine, but it's been one of those series that pisses me off because it's the one where the home team always wins, and the home team's great when they're at home, and then they go on the road and they're awful, and there's no excuse for that. Huge discrepancy of beating a team by 6 goals at home and going on the road and getting your ass kicked by 5 or 6 goals. So that's not great there. Any thoughts on the hockey? Nashville needs to win tonight. I have no reason why. I don't think they probably will because I think they've lost one playoff game at home all year. And they've killed Pittsburgh at home, and Pittsburgh's killed them in the last couple games on the road, or in Pittsburgh.
I don't have too much on the Stanley Cup. I've watched a little bit of it here and there at work. I'm not well versed in what's happened in the series. I do know that there have been a lot of blowouts so far. I might watch some of the game tonight if it's interesting and stays fun. I might continue to watch it. I hope hopefully the Predators can win. The Nashville Predators, not like regular Predators. Don't want them to win.
We do not like them. I got a lot of Oklahoma stuff on. Bob Stoops all of a sudden just quit. Why did he quit, Charlie?
It's a good question. Much like his boss when he was the defensive coordinator at Florida, Steve Spurrier. The difference was Spurrier did it in the middle of the season. I read a lot of stuff the day it happened. I haven't read anything since then. I'm not sure why. Part of me, one thing I thought was kind of interesting is this was one of the Nebraska beat writers, so by no means do they have like
The inside scoop.
super deep insight, into Bob Stoops' psyche. And I don't remember what the final score of the game was this past year, but that Oklahoma Texas Tech game that was like 70-63 or whatever, where everybody scored every possession in the second half or whatever it was, is that I remember saying that Stoops was the defensive coordinator early on when he was really good at Oklahoma. They had attacking, aggressive defenses, and that's how they won. And as the Big 12 has shifted in philosophy, I just remember someone saying that he probably walked off, after needing to score 70 to beat Texas Tech and being like, yeah, I don't know, maybe this isn't for me anymore. This isn't the kind of stuff I want to keep doing. I don't know if that's why, but I thought that was kind of interesting and fun. I think I remember reading somewhere his dad was a high school football coach and had like a heart attack during a game and died in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. So he's in his, I think Stoops is 56 or 57, so maybe part of it is just saying like, I've been successful, clearly, assuming he's been even relatively wise with his money. He should have plenty for whatever he wants to do for the rest of his life. So maybe, he just wants to watch his kids grow up. But I don't know, it's surprising, and mostly because it happened, in June, as opposed to, like announcing it in December or January or February, that it wasn't until now. But it was just like, yep, guess that's it.
You expect him to come back somewhere? Presumably, it would not be Oklahoma.
I've thought about it some. As of now, my gut reaction is that he probably will end a year or two, that he'll think, he'll get the itch to keep doing it. But I don't know. I think, a lot of times, anymore, the way the media works, we always wonder how guys would do as, in-game studio guys or color commentators for games. I don't know. I think that he could be at least adequate at that. I don't know if he would be lights out great at it, but he, maybe he'd want to do that. I think he could be good at that, although maybe not as good as some other guys. But he's young enough. I just get the sense that he's, going to get that itch and he's going to want to compete somewhere. And you know what? All his brothers will probably end up getting fired and he'll need jobs. So he'll have to get a head coaching job somewhere to employ all of them.
All right, the Bowden brothers and dad. We got the Stoops guys out there now. Do you know where he went to college?
Bob Stoops?
Yes.
I believe he was the defensive back in Iowa in the early 80s.
Kirk Ferentz is 61. Bob Stoops is 56. Would he go to Iowa? Is that a big enough job for Bob Stoops?
Ooh, I never thought of this. Is a good question. That's interesting. I think I know that both Kirk Ferentz and Kirk Ferentz Stoops worked under Hayden Fry at Iowa. I don't know how close he is to him. If Ferentz retired or got fired, I don't know if that would be something. But I don't know. I think that it's quite possible that he might want to go there. It's his alma mater. Iowa's been good. They're not like top 10 good, but like also seems to kind of like have healthy expectations. Not like 20 or 30 other schools that are like, if we don't win a national title this year, or go 11-1, the season's a failure. I don't know. I think that's interesting that you bring that up, and now I'm thinking a lot about that, and that's why I'm rambling, because it would be interesting if he went to Iowa.
Harbaugh, Stoops, Urban Meyer, all the guys. My heavens, all the guys. So that's interesting.
And somehow Tim Beckman just couldn't keep that job at Illinois.
Hard to believe. Lovie Smith, good luck whenever you get fired here in the next year or two. Twins bullpen, terrible again. This is very frustrating. They won, they won? Three in a row. 2 in a row, 3 in a row, 3-3 trip to Seattle and San Francisco with those 6 road games. Good enough for me. They're still in first place by a game and a half. When their bullpen is good, they're fine. When their bullpen is bad, they don't give up like 2 or 3 runs to where they can still win the game. They give up like 5 or 10 runs to where they're not going to win the game. So they should fix this right now. They're good enough. They're 65 games into the season. They're going to be there the whole year. And the only downfall is the bullpen. So I would say address this goddamn thing now. Would it be, let's see.
So you're saying they're the opposite of the Kansas City Royals
Yes.
from a few years ago, where their only really good thing was the bullpen, and at times they struggled with everything else. And that if the Twins could somehow co-opt that bullpen, they'd be a super team like the Golden State Warriors.
Should I hope for
And
these?
would score 100 runs in a game.
They gave up, they were ahead of San Francisco 5-4, 5-3. They bring in the bullpen. Bullpen gives up nearly 10 runs again. Twins lose like 13-8. So should I hope as a fan that this continues to happen so they have to address it? Should I hope for every once a series they just give up 8 runs in 3 innings it gets to a point where, well, we have to trade for somebody? Because they made a lot of moves that haven't mattered. You're shuffling shit around. So you're shuffling the shit from the front of the barn to the back of the barn. It's the same old crap. Trade a guy. We are in June. 6 weeks from a trade deadline. You can make trades. Go out, get a guy now instead of waiting until July 11th or July 30th. Make a trade now, June 11th.
Yeah, I think it's always interesting as a fan when you're in that situation where sometimes to get something fixed you need it to be worse, but you don't want it to be worse because you want them to win and have a chance at winning. It is, in most things, I feel like I'm good at kind of like removing myself and looking at it logically. Sometimes, like most people, you struggle with that for your favorite teams. I think if you can live and get over like oh no, I rooted against them a little bit there, then you're probably better off rooting for enough failure to get the problem fixed, as opposed to just, slapping duct tape on a valve that's leaking and hoping that plugs it over and over again.
Like, do we get a new car, or do we continue to replace the parts in the car that continue to add up to thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars? How about we just get a new car? How about that?
Do we get, and I can say it because I know my parents did, I think my mom had a van that we did this with once. Or not the whole car, but that the air conditioning thing was broke.
Yes.
So it was like, oh, well, we'll just buy these little things that you spray in there, and it'll work for like 4 or 5 days. And it's just, how many times do you want to do that until it's like, all right, maybe we should just get the whole thing fixed?
What do you got?
I don't know in sports, but in baseball, like if you're going to make a makeup of a team, is there anything more frustrating than having a team that's good but a bullpen that's bad? And I don't think in baseball there's anything more frustrating. Because if you've got good pitching and like you can't get hits, that's not fun. But you're like, oh well, the pitching's good. And if you're good at everything, but like your starting pitching's bad, then it doesn't matter because you're usually going to give up a whole bunch of runs. But it's just, I don't know. There was one year when I followed baseball a lot more than I do now. I remember with the White Sox that they lost some bullpen guys, and some guys didn't pan out how they wanted. And there were so many times where it was like, all right, the starter went 7 2/3 innings and gave up 2 runs, and we got a 3-run lead. And it's just like, oh no, they took him out. They're gonna blow this.
Because you're competitive and you're leading for the first 2/3 of the game, and then that last third gets, and you're like, oh shit, we're gonna give it up. The Twins Houston series on Memorial Day. Twins should have won the first game. Houston had never won a game in which they were down by 6 or more runs in the 7th inning or in the 8th inning or later, so it was literally unprecedented what Houston and the Twins did. So you got to win that game, and it was a 6-5 game late in Game 3 in the 6th, 7th inning, and the Twins bullpen gave up another 10 runs. So Houston obviously put up a lot of runs. They dominated the last innings, but the first 6 or 7 innings the Twins were the better team. So they didn't get dominated like you would expect when you lose a series being outscored 40-15 over 3 games. So they're very close. Get 2 guys in the bullpen worth of shit, and help yourself out, please. Please, for Christ's sake.
It's always frustrating, like whenever a bullpen blows a lead, obviously. But it's just, I don't know, when your bullpen's really bad, and it's just like, oh no, he didn't pitch a complete game. These 3 runs aren't going to be enough with 2 innings left. And just like that helpless feeling, like just, it doesn't matter. I know they're going to lose this game. It's already over, even though they're up by multiple runs right now. Like, 2 or 3 times every week, it just being like, oh no, it's going to happen again. Not that you blow it 2 or 3 times every week, but 2 or 3 or 4 times you just get that feeling where it's just like, oh no, again they're going to do this, and it's really frustrating.
It's easily fixable by trading for guys. Trade for guys. What are your thoughts? Apparently, there's going to be something called 3-on-3 basketball in the Olympics in 2020. I don't find this necessary. I don't know why this is a thing. I have no idea where this comes from. 3-on-3 basketball. I don't know. I would hope the court's going to be a little smaller. I don't know if they're going to have 3-on-3 on a full-size court. Thoughts on this? I don't give a shit about the Olympics anyway.
I don't know any of the rules. My assumption was that it was just going to be a half court.
Well, that's good.
It was going to be like if the defensive rebound, you got to go back behind 3-point line. But I don't know that. That's just me assuming. And I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting.
I'll watch it to see what it is.
Whether I watch it or not will basically just depend on like how many NBA or college basketball players that I know of are going to be in it. If the NBA guys or high-level college guys that didn't make the NBA are like, no, I'm not doing it, and it's just guys, that are like, I want to do this for my country, but you've never heard of me because I played at a Division II school, then I won't watch any of it at all. But if it's like, oh, wow, I don't know, if there's like 6 different teams
Steve
from
Nash.
the United States,
good 45-year-old Steve Nash out there.
If it was older guys that are retired, I might too. That could be interesting. I know something fun I saw about it when they announced it, a couple of different people saying is it would be fun if there was a rule for the Americans that it was like you could only play with teammates that you went to college with to come up with the team like that. I thought, they wouldn't do that, but I thought it'd be kind of interesting because you could make some pretty impressive teams that way.
What's this shirt? What's this shirt that you saw about Curry?
Oh yeah, I'm trying to remember what it said now. I remember what the gist of it was.
Asian, or is it an Asian guy?
It was an Indian, from the country India, not Native American, but an Indian guy, in Cleveland, wearing a shirt that said something to the effect of like, I know I'm Indian, but I still hate curry, or something like that.
Very good.
I thought, that's pretty funny. I like that. That's clever.
Clever indeed. Any other thoughts on any other things?
I was just going to say, I kind of wanted to talk about the 3-on-3 thing. Just like what, if you were going to do it where guys, and there's a couple of guys that didn't play collegiately in the NBA, but just like what 3-on-3 teams, like from what college would come up with the best
college
3-on-3 team? Because there were a couple I thought of, and one of the first ones I said was Kentucky, because I don't know, like one of the few Twitter spats I've ever been in, and it wasn't really a spat because I didn't respond because I didn't care to, and it was a day later, and I was like, nah, that's done. But I was like, oh, well, I feel like Kentucky would have the best one because you take Anthony Davis and John Wall, and then they got plenty of other guys to choose from that are good. But you can, group those two with almost anyone, and they'd be great. And then like a day and a half later, I got one from someone with a Texas thing. It was like, oh, Texas would be the best, hands down, like scoffing at me.
Who the hell does Texas have besides Durant? The hell's Texas? Jesus Christ. What
And that was kind of what I thought. And then I didn't want to get in some people
Texas?
like doing Twitter things. I didn't want to get in a Twitter fight with someone I didn't know. But I remember one of them it was I think they said Kevin Durant, LaMarcus Aldridge, and Bradley Beal. Or it was Avery Bradley, one of those. And I was just like, yeah, I mean, Durant's good. I don't know if any of those other two are going to make me. I mean, I think I would probably take UCLA with Russell Westbrook and Kevin Love and just somebody else over Texas.
Carolina doesn't really have a whole lot of guys that come to mind because Carolina's always good, but unlike your Dukes and your Kentuckys and your UCLAs, Carolina really hasn't had that big one-and-done star guy.
Yeah, I was just going to say, the interesting thing is it used to be, like when we would have been in like middle school or high school, it was that North Carolina has all the pro players, but Duke wins more games and gets guys drafted, and then they don't do anything in the NBA. Where now it seems like that's kind of flipped, where, at least with Kyrie Irving, and they've got a couple of young guys who may do stuff pretty good for Duke, where North Carolina just has like a lot of guys that it's like, yeah, I mean, he's a good player. I don't think I'd want him on. If I was starting a team, he wouldn't be in my top 6 I'd want. But
I guess a point off of that would be, does that one and done thing, is that if you want to win a national champ, if you want to be good, sure. But like none of these guys, I mean, Calipari's won 1 at Kentucky, and this is his deal at Kentucky. Carolina's gotten there twice. Gonzaga sure as hell. They're not doing much of it. Duke won against Wisconsin a few years ago. Connecticut was like an 8 seed when they won a few years ago. You've had Louisville beat Michigan. There were plenty of upperclassmen there. So
UConn's won twice in the last decade where they were. I don't remember the one more recently. I think they were a lower seed, but the one with what's his name, Kemba Walker. I mean, I don't remember what they were, but they weren't a 2 or a 3 or a 1.
Like a 4,
I was
maybe.
thinking they were a 4 or a 5.
And then you've had Butler make it twice. So it's like, well, if you just want to look at like Final Four teams and teams that win the whole thing, I mean, there's none of these superstar one-and-done players. So what? They don't win championships. Is that a valid point?
I think I wouldn't put it as definitively as you said it, but I would say more often than not. Because Kentucky won 1. The one that Duke won most recently had 2 or 3 one-and-done guys on it. I don't know if, I think we all knew that Jahlil Okafor was going to be done. The other 2 guys, I don't know if we knew that ahead of time. But so those are the only 2 that have won. I think with Kentucky, though, they've made one other national title game, or maybe just the one. They've made a couple other Final Fours, I know, at least 2 others.
They lost to Connecticut. They lost to Kemba Walker, 60-54. That sounds like an awful game. And then they won in 2012 with Anthony Davis. They beat Kansas. So
that's right. Like the most non-Kansas Bill Self team, where it was just like, we lived up to expectations, even though we weren't as talented as many of our other teams.
It's. I guess I'm surprised it doesn't happen as more. I guess. Nathan Sacken joins us inside the cool comfort of his studio. Nashville Predators taking the ice. We cannot hear you, so that's not great. As far as those who enjoy the program via our voices and via communication-wise, we communicate. I think we're going to have to jump in and jump back out. Jump in, jump back out here. So there we go. Again, Charlie, get ready. Marcus isn't here, but maybe we'll talk about Stacken thinking hockey athletes are the greatest. So it'll be interesting to see his points. Something we've talked about.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Something we talked about 5 years ago. Something we'll talk about 5 years from now again. But it's just what we'll do. There we go, folks.
Yes,
there he is.
There we go.
I have no doubt your Predators will win tonight.
that's good that you don't have any doubt because
I'm sure the sure-handed Stacken has no doubt as well.
Yes, I'm sure Will Stacken hopes his
Predators. Stacken is confident the Predators would win, but wouldn't be surprised if they lost.
I'm not even sure they're going to win tonight. I'm not even certain of it.
So they lost one game in the playoffs at home.
Two.
One.
You're right.
They won. These games have not been close. These games are not close.
Here we go. Look at this. Here.
You got a new dog?
We got dog.
Oh,
Hey,
my heavens. What do you think, sir? Brophy Stacken's getting a little pumped. He's getting a little excited. How old is this dog? 2 years old?
He's 1 year old.
1 year old. Look at this dog. 15 more years. We're open for 15 more.
I doubt it. We're open.
Wow. You doubt it. So you would be surprised if this dog is there 15
Man,
years.
I always like to hope for at least for double digits, get to 10 with dogs.
I don't know the normal age range of a basset, so that's not in my realm of expertise.
Have you already purchased a burial plot?
No.
Okay.
I can tell you this much.
That's morbid.
And you may know this already, but much like people, the smaller they are, the more likely they are to live for a long, long, long time.
That's good, because this is a good dog for the most part.
Good. Very good. I don't believe you, but I'll go with it. The hockey's fine, but I don't like that the home team dominates so much because there's no rhyme and reason for why Pittsburgh should win 6-0 and why they go to Nashville and they lose by 4 or 5 goals. The goaltenders are just and any of it.
Well, it's weird because the psychological impact that just the psychological aspect of this series with Rene not being able to win in Pittsburgh at all, and then you come back to Nashville. I don't even think it's that that Matt Murray can't play good. It's just that the crowd boosts the Predators so much. I don't think it's necessarily the home crowd, for Pittsburgh that's doing a whole lot for them. I think it's the actual team that gets into Pekka Rinne's head. Because if you've seen throughout the entire Stanley Cup playoffs, there haven't been a whole lot. Home ice hasn't really mattered, at least not through the first 2 rounds. It's only becoming more so, as you get to the conference finals and subsequently, like we've seen so far, the finals. The final. It's not the finals. It's the final.
The hockey usually ends before the basketball, but I think this year the basketball is going to end before the hockey.
I hope so.
Game 5.
Draymond Green. God dang it.
What did he do now, Stacken?
No, I just wanted, Golden State to sweep the Cavs, make history, and be the best team of all time.
And now the faux Warriors.
Yeah, and now because Draymond said, we're looking forward to celebrating on Cleveland's home court.
Get it done.
Fans aren't very smart. All this nonsense. Now look what we got.
Who's singing the song, Stacken? Who's singing the song?
I don't know.
She was in Sioux Falls on Friday night.
Oh, Faith Hill. Oh, my gosh. She better sing the Sunday Night Football song instead of...
Nope.
Oh, who was in... Oh, Jack Nicklaus was in Sioux Falls, I know for sure.
Yes.
Who would have said that they were the greatest team of all time had they beaten Cleveland Friday night? But I agree with you that their ceiling is so much higher. If they can keep the core together, Kevin Durant, Klay Curry, and, Draymond Green, for all those antics, is a real to that puzzle. So I would say, yes, if they can keep the core together, their ceiling is the highest.
It's really nice when you're just a regular one of the 30 NBA teams, and you can say, oh, yeah, Draymond Green is our 4th best player on our team.
Why is that? Why is McGraw wearing a turtleneck?
Very cold.
Damn it.
Catfish.
It's got to be like 95 in Nashville right now.
Well, he's inside, Stacken. He's inside.
In
These games are inside. So Faith Hill's your gal?
Stacken, ice would freeze if they were outside and it was 90-something degrees.
That's true.
They would be playing water polo, not hockey.
True. I loved Faith Hill for the Sunday Night Football theme song. I'm not a huge fan of Carrie Underwood singing it, but Carrie Underwood is better is much more. I like her a lot more. I like them both equal, I should say.
Really?
So you just reverse stance right there. You went from you like one a lot more to nope, they're both the same.
Yeah, I misspoke. That shouldn't be a surprise. This is not the first nor the last time that will
This
ever happen.
feels like something that a husband did not want publicly on record that his wife could hear and listen.
Oh no, that's fine. She's fine. She knows my.
What if I told you Pittsburgh scored in the first 10 seconds, Stacking?
That's a lie.
How old are you?
29.
Faith Hill is 49.
Oh, I mean, only
How
20
old
years
does she
older.
look?
She's 49.
How
I mean,
old
I knew she wasn't like 28, but I don't know, she was pretty good for 49.
does she
I
look
thought
like?
I would guess
35?
she was 40 even.
I thought she looked a little older than 49 there singing the national anthem.
No, she looks like she's like 35.
Maybe my
Maybe.
age star is just really bad. But
I'm a poor judge of age, though. I really am.
Bill Russell looks 100 years old. We can all agree on that.
I might have to go make, if things get bad here early on, I better go make a drink in my Moscow Mule Nashville Predators mug. So I will have to do that at some point here during our
In
conversation.
case things get out of
And
hand here.
Chris, based off what you said, Bill Russell looks so old, he looks like he's Greg Oden's grandson.
Tell me about the Civil War, Russell. What was it like?
Well, I got my freedom after the North won.
Stacking, what a just.
Zach, did you just make a race joke?
Well, I'm making a historical joke.
Historical. Because Bill Russell would have been a slave if he was old to be enough in the Civil War.
No, wait. Where's Bill Russell from?
The United States, I can tell you that much.
Thank you.
He went to college at San Francisco, so who?
I don't know where he's from specifically.
Well,
I know he went to San Francisco collegiately.
let's take a look.
What's the Google
See where
machine
he's from.
say? Bill Russell was born in Louisiana. Well, that's bad.
So I'm just gonna venture a guess and say he would have been in the South.
That's where he grew up.
Before 1865, he would have been a slave.
Yes.
Or, well, I don't know. Actually, I don't remember when Lincoln and
No,
that
it's
advance of
1861, 1865.
No, but I'm saying I know that it was done in 65. I don't remember specifically when the Emancipation Proclamation was. I mean, for all, if someone was like, no, that was in October of 1864, I couldn't be like, no, that's not right, because I just don't know.
What does the old Google machine say?
Stacking, what I read the blog as I do every day.
Thank you.
What message do you have for the LeBron haters? What message can convey your
Shut the
message?
hell up. That's what I have to
What-
say.
what-
Shut the-
About what? What don't you like?
How they nitpick every little thing with him. I mean, they say, you should shoot more. He played 46 of the 48 minutes, and
They still
it was
lost.
a +7 in Game 3. Now, if you think +7, like, it could have been better, sure, that's fine. If you're playing the Brooklyn Nets, then I would say, yes, you should have much more than +7. But you're playing the Golden State Warriors, who are the best team in the NBA. You're +7. You played 46 minutes. The 2 minutes you were not on the court, -12. I mean, that to me speaks volumes right there, that you can have a negative 12-point differential in 2 minutes that he's on the bench. So forgive me for saying that, he's giving up a shot to pass to a more wide open teammate because maybe he wants Kevin Love to get out of a shooting slump, and Kevin Love is wide open. We know he can knock down a shot every once in a while. Hell, Kyle Korver is a hot shooter, one of the best in the business. Maybe he can make a shot. I don't know. I mean, what the hell else do you want him to do? Do you want him to sell popcorn? Do you want him to be the coach? I would guess a lot of people do.
Well, he is the coach.
Do you want him to put all the T-shirts on the chairs before the game
Yes.
for all the fans to wear?
Yes.
Do you want him to?
I mean, I didn't, but now I kind of do, just to see what it would look like.
Now, I mean, do you want this? To me, I'm going a little off topic here, but this whole thing to me is absolutely ridiculous. What the hell else do you want him to do? He and Kyrie were the only people doing anything worth a damn. Kevin Love was doing some things outside of scoring, but honestly, shut up. That's all I gotta say. Agree or disagree?
If he averaged a triple-double, I want him to shoot in the last minutes. I don't want Kyle Korver. Kyle Korver's a very good shooter. He's very good at three-pointers. Kyrie Irving hit the game-clinching, series-clinching shot in Game 7 last year. I want LeBron shooting with my team up 2 with 50 seconds left. I want him shooting in the tie game.
I'm fair with
drive.
That, but are you gonna blame everything?
No.
Are you gonna blame him for everything else, or are you just gonna say, you know what, I would prefer that you take it, but I'm not gonna criticize you for it?
I want him to take that shot.
To be fair, I would agree with most of Stackett's points. I think it's okay to criticize him some for not taking.
Like I have no.
Like most things, there's a degree where it goes too far, and there's some people that just aren't ever gonna admit that LeBron James is one of the 5 best NBA players ever, no matter what he does, just because some people decided that he wasn't going to be good enough and won't ever change their minds. But I think certainly there's times that, he makes errors or there's questions in judgment during the game, but it's like that with everybody. And sort of like Stacken said, I mean, he played really well, and if you take him off the Cavaliers, they wouldn't be in the NBA Finals right now.
You are absolutely right, Crins, if you want to say.
No, like
yes,
the first 47 minutes of that game, there's nothing you can't complain about.
I just think people nitpick way too much with him. And this is not the first time, nor will it be the last. The Skip Baylesses of the world and his ilk, they're always going to go after him and say, oh, he's not as good as LeBron, as Michael Jordan. Jordan would have never passed that up, yada, yada, yada. You know what? Yes, sometimes you can say, take it to the hole, shoot it, whatever you want to do, but overall, if we're going to look at it collectively, I'm not going to criticize him or say, oh, he sneezed when he shouldn't have. Shame on him when he does so much good for the team. And again, the stat says it all. The negative 12 points on the minus side in the 2 minutes he was out. How about you get some other competent people on that team?
May I suggest he play the whole game? If you're playing 46 minutes, what's the difference between that and playing 48? If you are minus 12 in 2 minutes, how about I have you go out there for the 5 possessions in those 2 minutes?
And you could criticize Tyronn Lue for that if you want. I mean, I don't know if LeBron asked to be taken out or not.
If LeBron wants to play, he's going to play. If he says, I'm playing, he's like, okay, coach, I'll play. I don't think Tyronn Lue has much decision-making to go here as far as like...
Well, when he was the coach before Tyronn Lue...
Brown.
David Blatt. I get the two mixed up sometimes.
Yes.
I have to think that LeBron overruled David Blatt in almost every instance.
Sure. And, the coach doesn't make a... The coach really can't screw this up. He can only screw it up, I think. The coach can only screw this up. Game 5, Monday night. See if Golden State can do what they did the first 2 games and win by 15 to 25 points, which I expect them to do. Let's say it's a 1-point game. It's 110 to 109. Cleveland has the ball with 10 seconds left. Who do you think is taking the shots? Who would you expect? Who would you put $100 on? I think this person for Cleveland is taking the shot to win the game on Monday night in that situation.
I will answer your question, and then I will also give how I would say an answer. I still think LeBron would take it. I'm going to say LeBron, but I will put it this way. And then some of this is from before you were on Stacken. But if it was the same situation, if it was Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, I would say it's 99.9% chance that they are taking the shot. Where I would still bet that it's LeBron in your situation, but I would be like, it's like an 83% chance that LeBron takes it.
I would say if Kyrie's not going to take the shot, LeBron's going to drive in.
You see, then Kyrie Irving would be your favorite. Who would you put your $100 on?
I'd probably put it on LeBron. Okay. But I'm going to play some hype. I'm going to play some potential here because he's going to drive into the lane. He's not going to just wait for the last jump shot because he's not the greatest He's not the greatest jump shot shooter
He's not.
ever, but he's going to drive in. If he has the lane, he's going to go in for the layup. At the last split second, Draymond Green going to come up with the block. So LeBron will say, I'm going to kick it out, and Kevin Love will be wide open, and he'll airball the shot, and the Warriors will win.
What's Michael Jordan's greatest game winner? Or the one that you think of the most?
The one where he pushed off against Utah.
Is there
Byron Russell, 98. It's the first one I think of also.
is there another one that comes to mind at all?
Cleveland.
There's others that come to mind. Oh, sorry.
The shot against Cleveland in what, like 86 or something, where he
88,
jumps up in the air.
89. Okay. Is there another one? Is there a third one you could think of?
No, those two are the only ones that are immediately coming to mind.
There's also that other one against the Utah Jazz where he does the fist bump right after he makes it.
Oh, true.
What's the
Was
best?
that the same year as 98 or was that 97 when he did the...
That was
fist
97,
bump
like
game
game 97, like game 1, game 2. I think it was game 1, 97. Or like 82 to 80. What's the best game winner LeBron? Is there a game winner from LeBron that comes to mind?
Did he have one against the Pistons in the playoffs one year?
Maybe. Like, I can only think of one. Like, what does that say that we can't even come up with one? And the one we come up with is, well, yeah, there was that, like, Eastern Conference Finals that he hit. Did he hit that shot? Well, I don't know. Maybe he didn't. Like, the
That's
only
a very
one,
good point.
the only one me and Charlie came up with was, what was it? It was the year
It was like 08, 09, somewhere around then against the Magic in the Eastern Conference
and
Finals.
they lost the fucking series. What was it, like 2-1?
Yes, that was game 2, wasn't it?
It was like they were down in the series.
Forever remember that series about the Nike commercial campaign they had, where it was like, oh, it'll be LeBron and Kobe in the finals.
Oh, boy.
We'll have all these LeBron and Kobe commercials, and then the Cavs didn't even make the finals.
And they
That
did.
was the last time the Magic were any good.
Reconciled your heart from 95 or something.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't know what it says that we can think of. I could think of one, and it was against Orlando when they were down in the series and they needed that, or else they were going to be down like 2-0 or 3-1, and they didn't even win the series. Like, it's not.
Is it also though the negative perception that so many people have of LeBron versus NBA? Like, it seems like Michael Jordan can do no wrong in basketball
Because he never lost. He never lost.
And that's fair, but it also seems like LeBron is compared to him, and everyone's looking to take him down a peg whenever they can. And you're absolutely right. He has not taken as many game-winning shots as we would probably like him to see, or if he wants to be considered ultimately.
He just hasn't been to the finals enough, Charlie. He's only been there 19 times. Come on. I'll say this. Like, maybe don't do that little rally in Miami, saying not 1, not 2, not 6, not 7, not 8. Fuck, he wasn't even in Miami. He was in Miami for 4 years. Did he set the bar? Because before that, everybody loved LeBron, and when he went to Miami, that was the turning point. Like, there was the negative on LeBron before he went to Miami was, well, he doesn't win the title. He hasn't won that title yet. And then,
but even then, there wasn't that much of it because it was very heavily like he's there by himself and he doesn't have any help from anybody.
And then now, when he goes somewhere and he says, "Well, let me get 7," did he and himself set the bar too high?
Yeah, I would say so. Well, and also the way he went about the whole way he went about it, and then joining with his 2 friends, the 2 All-Stars. That ultimately is going to be the blemish or what people will look at him, or one of the major reasons why they will look at him negatively.
2 quick things / jokes on that. One is that, does anybody remember when he first went to Miami and not everyone, but a lot of people were like, oh my God, they got 3 of the 10 best players in the NBA. And it's laughable to me that anyone was ever like, yeah, Chris Bosh is one of the 10 best players in the NBA. He's good, and he was good. Not one of the 10 best players in the league at any juncture in time. And then the other one is the not one, not two, not three, not four. He wasn't talking about winning the NBA Finals. He was talking about how many conference finals
There you
he
go.
won in his career.
Look at all these
And he's on track.
Look at all these conference title rings on my hands here. Look at all these. LeBron, I think it was the next day during the press conference, reporter asked LeBron about passing to Korver and if he would do that again. And instead of just saying yes or no, he did say yes at the end, but it was a very detailed answer. And I was very impressed that he took 30 seconds to break down the play of, I have the ball. I'm gonna switch on this, so then I have like Draymond Green on me. He's got 5 fouls, so I can drive on him. Maybe get fouled to pick up a 6th foul. So I drive. They're gonna double me. I'm gonna get it to Kyle Korver in the corner, or I can give it to this guy here. And he went through this final play, that one play, very detailed. So I'd say that's a very good insight of how he sees the floor.
But the haters will take that and say, oh, he's just going into excuses as to why he wouldn't take the shot, or, he'll go into this whole soliloquy and breakdown before ultimately saying, sure, I'll take it, but if I don't, this is why I wouldn't, and all this nonsense. And that's what they'll say, because the haters are going to hate.
Instead of just saying, yes, I do it again, he broke it down to a point where, like, you couldn't really argue against it. You're like, well, yeah, Kyle Korver in the corner, I guess that's not bad. So,
but the haters won't take it that way, and that's the unfortunate part.
It is unfortunate. And they also asked him about, like, he was the first to have this super team. Like Boston had it in the 80s, but they drafted, like, for the most part, 2 of the 3 guys. Lakers drafted 2 of their 3 guys. The Bulls drafted the majority of their top 2 guys. So we've seen the super teams, but never this way. And he had an interesting way of looking at it as far as, I disagree with him because he said, well, we had to build something in Miami. It's like, well,
that's a bunch of bullshit.
It's like, well, like Miami wasn't any good before you got there, but when you're there and Dwayne Wade's there, and you add Chris Bosh, I mean, you're not going to be anything but good. So it's not like you had to fucking build from. It's not like you're the Houston Astros building from scratch here, okay? You didn't have to build anything. You just brought in players, and you're going to be good. This team could have been in Miami. It could have been in Portland. It could have been anywhere. They were going to be fine.
And I also think you could look at the same way that they built this team.
It's the same thing.
They haven't built it through the draft.
It's the exact same
they've
thing.
They've gone after guys like J.R. Smith and Andrew Bogut.
Well,
I mean, who of course not there, but they traded for him. Kyle Korver.
Well, just
Darren Williams. Darren Williams is there, isn't he?
Yeah, it's just LeBron went
Richard
back.
Jefferson.
Yeah, LeBron went back to a team that already had a very good player. You add LeBron to that, they're very good. And then you trade for a third guy, Kevin Love being the Chris Bosh of this deal. So it's the exact same thing. The
only draft pick would be Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, that's the only draft. And like Dwayne Wade, that was the only thing. So, but then you look at Golden State.
What about Anthony Bennett, Stackett?
Bennett.
The guy who's not in the league, Charlie.
that was the joke.
Oh.
Terrific. You look at Golden State. They drafted
That's gonna
Kurt.
be part of the two-man show, by the way. When Marcus is out on vacation at the PGA Tour, Charlie's going to step in. We're going to do that two-man joke.
I hope this is part of the act. I enjoyed it. Golden State drafted Curry, drafted Thompson, drafted Draymond Green, and they added Durant. So LeBron was, Golden State was already good, and they just added one more good player to where wherever LeBron went, they weren't good, but then they made him good because they added 2 really good players. So Golden State, as far as people want to say, like they bought a championship. Well, they won it 2 years ago without Durant. They had those 3 guys or the guys that matter, and Iguodala was there, good for him.
They were 73-9 last year without Durant.
And without Durant. So yes, they have Durant, and he is an outstanding piece. And they'll win a championship this year with him. And if you want to argue they bought a championship, go ahead. But they have 2 prior years and one that they won a championship without Durant, and with the core of that team being all guys that they drafted. So as far as buying a championship, I suppose this year, yeah, but the previous 2 years, Don't you wish your team would go out and do that? Don't you wish like the Dolphins would go out and get, all right, we're gonna get Aaron Rodgers. He's coming here, we're gonna win. Of course.
I do, but I also just wish that they would I just want them to be better. Ultimately, as long as it works, I don't care how they do it, but yeah.
Like, how excited would you be if your White Sox ponied up $1,000 or $1 million times 1,000 and got like Bryce Harper or they got Mike Trout? You'd be like, holy shit, my team that I follow a little bit has...
And Clayton Kershaw.
And look at that. I mean, how great would that be?
That would be fun. I can guarantee you this. If the White Sox said, we're going to bring in Bryce Harper, Clayton Kershaw, and Mike Trout, I would follow the White Sox more than I currently do right now.
Oh, really?
I guarantee you that.
People hate the Yankees. Like the Patriots are interesting because it's not like they're the anti this because they get rid of their guys and they somehow just.
This is arguably the first year where they're buying as heavily as they are for that championship, bringing in the likes of Brandon Cooks and Stephon Gilmore. Those are the two highest profile guys that I have on right now.
What is it about? Like, we criticize teams for trying to win. It's like you can only have a certain number of good players. If you have too many good players, like, oh, what are we doing here? Most of the time, that team doesn't really even win anyway. But when they do, it's like, oh, what fun is that? You bought your championship. Well, like if the Yankees have 4 really good pitchers and they need another one, they're going to go and get another one back in the day.
Right.
Like, well, why chance it? Let's say one of these guys get hurt. Now we're down to 3. Like, I'm not going to criticize a really good team because they want to add another great player. Because if we were fans of that team, we'd want that team. We'd want the Vikings to do the exact same thing. Like, if the Timberwolves could get a legitimate top 10 player, that'd be very exciting for Timberwolves fans.
Agreed. It was different. The one difference, I would say, with football and baseball specifically over basketball, is that, there are more. You have to field a bigger team. You have to add more pieces. So when you add 2 or 3 high-profile guys, it's 3 out of 52 or 3 out of 40 versus basketball is 3 out of
10.
12, 3 out of 15. So the percentage is, of everyone, of those 3 guys, is far lower. Not saying that their impact isn't, but they're part of a far bigger team with more pieces that you have to add to the puzzle than just 1 or 2 outstanding players for a basketball team.
One final point. One final point on the basketball thing. Does Golden State win a title this year without Durant?
That's a really good question.
So if people want to criticize, oh, why'd you add Durant? You won the most games anybody'd ever won, and you're winning all of this year. It's not a guarantee they would have beaten Cleveland because Cleveland's shown they can play with them a little bit, and Durant obviously puts them over the top. If you take Durant out of this series, this is probably another 7-game series. So
I think it's a virtual toss-up between the two.
So why would you not add a guy that guarantees you're going to win?
Because people are dumb and they want things to complain about.
So instead of we came close to winning the finals, we lost by 4 points in the 7th game after being up 3-1. We need to add a piece. So our piece that we're going to add is, think of a random fucking player that's good, but that isn't going to matter at all. We're going to add, David West.
Mike Conley.
Sure. Oh, he's all right. Like a shooter guy or like a
Kemba Walker.
Sure. We're going to add Kemba Walker. He's going to be our 6th man. That's going to make the difference because he's going to come off the bench and score 15 points a game. How about this? We're going to get the best player, not named LeBron James, and we're gonna win fucking 3 titles in a row. That's what we're gonna do. So there we go. Be very.
We've done a lot of LeBron talk. Here's the hypothetical question that is
I got one more.
A, meant for humor, but is also B, serious at the same time. And this is going to be like the LeBron PR, let's try to get some goodwill going. He can't do this because he can't go back in time and change things. But would people think differently of him, A, and B, would you guys like it? If he would have won his one title with Miami, and would have been like, okay, got my title, I'm turning around and going back to Cleveland. And let's say I don't remember what the year that would have been, but let's say, much like it was a couple years ago, he wins the title his second year at Cleveland, and then it's just like, you know what? I'm going to go to a new team every time I win a title and just get a new team, their first ever NBA title. And he's just like, all right, I'm going to the Wizards now.
That'd be a
He's
fun
like,
little
okay,
thing.
Time to go to the Timberwolves. And he would just be like, I'm going to stay here until I either can't play anymore or I win a title. And then once I win a title, I'm going to do the same thing. So basically, he's doing the NCAA football video game dynasty equivalent. Of like, all right, I made this team good. Now I'm leaving and going somewhere else. I'm fixing them.
Ultimately, the NBA would like that because you'd have people keep watching him, and they would be in different areas. I like that idea. I think people still would have had a problem with him joining the Heat because he was joining it with 2 All-Stars in Wade and Bosh. But I think what ultimately soured almost everyone was his, the decision. That's what really, I think, did LeBron in there.
Since Charlie liked my question, I'll use that when the haters come out when Golden State wins. Would they have won without Durant?
And then play Taylor Swift's song.
Oh, for Christ's sake!
I did. I don't know if you heard this yesterday. I was driving and I was listening to Dari and Mel, but Booger McFarland was in for Mel Kiper. And they were talking about how Dave McMenamin of ESPN was saying that he's thinking that LeBron might leave Cleveland a second.
I was just going to say this. I wanted we've had a lot of talk. We'll talk about it again next week as well. I don't think he stays. He wants championships, and as soon as they go a couple of years without one, he's going to go looking. I don't know what team. So I think he's leaving. Do you think? I would be shocked if he spends the next 5 years in Cleveland. I don't see that happening at all.
I would agree. I don't know how long he's going to stay in Cleveland, but I would agree that he's going to make another move.
I don't think it is out of the realm of possibility that he stays in Cleveland, but they have to keep the team competitive and keep them on an upward trajectory to be able to compete with the likes of the Golden State Warriors and the San Antonio Spurs. But so they threw out 3 teams in there. Booger McFarland threw the Knicks as
the Knicks. Tell Booger McFarland to get fucked, okay?
Well,
I'm sick about hearing about the fucking Knicks.
He went all big markets because he went the Clippers number 2 and then the Lakers number 1.
Because we all know that Cleveland and Miami are the 2 biggest markets of the NBA where he's played so far.
So, I mean...
Booger McFarland, get him out of here.
Wait, who were the 2 after the Knicks stack in?
The Lakers.
The Clippers and the Lakers.
Come
out of all
on.
3 of them, the Lakers probably make the most sense because they have a younger team, and Magic Johnson would put together, we think, I don't know.
What a great evaluator of talent. What a coup for Magic Johnson to steal this LeBron James.
I frequently am fairly
passive.
Lukewarm? Sometimes I was gonna say I'm more okay, let's play it safe and go by the rules. But every now and then I have streaks of being an anarchist, and the anarchist in me is like, you know what? I want to see LeBron go to the Knicks and see just how this weird concoction, it might end up working well. High probability it explodes in everyone's face, and I just kind of would want to see how that plays out with what's his name, the good guy that I can't pronounce his name. No, not
Porzingis.
Porzingis, Kristaps Porzingis.
He
I
might
mean-
not even be back there next year. He's
Like
If
you-
LeBron's there next year, I think he'll be back.
oh yeah.
Like Carmelo, Porzingis,
Kristaps,
LeBron.
Carmelo, LeBron, and just seeing how it would be like, I don't know. I think we could agree, like, no matter how dysfunctional it gets, like, they would still be a top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. But I don't know. Part of me thinks, like, there's just, like, this, like, 30% chance that in the playoffs, like, somehow they just, like, completely implode. Like, Carmelo is just like, nope, whenever someone gets a rebound, I'm forcibly going to take the ball from them, and I'm going to shoot it myself because I don't want LeBron to shoot it.
They went away from picking teams like the Spurs and the Warriors that LeBron could go to, and I can't remember one of Dari's teams, but one team he said was the Washington Wizards. The other team he said was the Milwaukee Bucks. Because they got
I live for the day LeBron goes to play in Milwaukee.
So that leads me to my question for you guys, because I have 3 teams in mind.
Oh, I was going to ask the same question. The 3 teams you'd want to see him go to?
Yeah, like that would
That you
arguably
want
make
to?
sense.
Not that he
Like,
Yeah,
would.
want to. Or that was mine. Okay. Yeah,
So, like, that
are
would
you
be-
talking want to or think he will go to?
Want to.
No, that would make the most sense for him to go to. If he's looking at the entire...
No,
Well, here's.
that's different. Than
You're muted, Sakin. You're muted. Something happened. You're muted. Unmute yourself. I don't know what happened. You say these 3 teams. Charlie. I don't know if you've picked up on this. I don't know if you have 3 teams as well. I have.
Put it this way.
All right,
I'd have to
Yes.
think for a bit. Yeah, we can hear you, Sackett. All right, I'll
Well,
let
here's
you
the
guys
deal.
go first.
So
I'm cheating. Mine will not be the 3 teams that
You
I
just
think
want
he
to.
wants to go to or is best suited for. I am selfishly going to say the 3 teams I want to see LeBron James go to. So that's why I'll let you guys go first.
I have 2 immediately. that
I'm
come
going.
to
I'm
mind.
going to roast your nuts on an open fire stack, and if you say certain teams,
Okay.
teams, okay.
Well, at the risk of having...
My nuts. Well, hey, you've already made another human, so you should be fine as far as the legacy of Sir Stacken.
Instead of Chester's nuts roasting over an open fire, it's Stacken's nuts roasting
Yes.
over an open fire.
Yes.
Let's just go one at a time then. Let's go through the 3 teams.
Give
the
us.
first team.
Okay.
The first team that I will say is the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
Got a lot of talent in there. You got Isaiah Thomas. Al Horford's not a terrible guy.
Mixed to be a mover and a shaker.
Yeah, Kelly Olynyk, if he's not trying to break Kevin Love's elbows, actually is a decent scorer. They have a lot of young talent.
Gordon
They have draft
Hayward,
picks.
if they added Gordon Hayward,
If they add Gordon Hayward,
first
that'd be
pick.
fine. So, yes, the number of draft picks. So I would say if LeBron would look at it as of today, June 11th, Boston would be definitely one team that I would think would make the most sense for him to go to.
Charlie, I hope your team and my number 1 team are the same. It better
I
be.
had 2, and then I had a third, and now okay. These are the 3 teams I want to see him go to. So this is a little bit different.
What's your number 1? If he could go to any team, you'd like to see him go where? I know. I got my number 1 team.
I don't know if I can.
It's not a question.
I
Not a
haven't-
question.
Okay, well, we're going to do this. I can't rank them because they're all about the same. Any of them I would be happy with if he goes to one of these 3 teams. And this will make it sound like I really love a certain part of the country, but it has nothing to do with the location. It has to do with the organizations. Based off what I said, sort of combining LeBron's the pro bono guy, although he's obviously getting paid, going and winning championships idea that I had. I'm combining that with dysfunctional teams. And if he would go to any of the New York Knicks, Philadelphia 76ers, or the Brooklyn Nets, I would
Good
be
job.
just ecstatic.
If I could.
Wait, I gotta stop you right here. Put him on the Sacramento Kings, not the New York Knicks.
If I could see him go to one team, I'd want him to go to Golden State.
See,
That would be interesting also. That would be interesting from a different degree.
The more we talked about it a couple weeks ago, the more I think about it, the more I think it would be awfully boring. Because they would just be so good. They're good now, and people are getting bored. I'm fine watching them and their greatness. But you add LeBron, and that would be unfair. That'd be like I'm sure somebody would sue Golden State of as far as monopolizing the league. Then come on, guys. Come on, let's go.
The funny thing is, like, you could give, like, one of those guys, of their four guys, being, which is funny because you're effectively making Klay Thompson your fourth best player. But between Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Klay Thompson, every one of those guys, you can give one game a week where they're going to rest and basically never have all four of them play together the entire regular season to be extra rested. And it would be like, oh, man, look how disappointing they are. They only won 64 games this year.
I like Charlie's picks because any team he's going to be on, he's going to be the favorite to win. So you like Boston? That makes sense because of all their guys. What's number 2?
I'm trying to think of the second team that I had here.
Like Milwaukee's interesting, but like he just isn't going to go to Milwaukee.
Okay, so there's one of the teams here. I gotta think Minnesota would be a team that he would like because you got Karl Anthony Towns, Andrew Wiggins is good, Zach LaVine's a shooter. The only issue might be the point guard, but you
LeBron
got a
would be the
collection
point
of
guard.
young talent there. You had LeBron James in that
Don't
mix
worry,
with all
bring
that.
LeBron James into the Minnesota Timberwolves. Chris Paul will also end up being your point guard.
Sure,
Because you're going
that's
to get
fine.
somebody good in free agency.
And that's fine, but I just think if you were to look at a team that needs that extra boost, LeBron James would make the Timberwolves into that monster team, I think. Because they're on the cusp of being a really good team. Adding LeBron to that mix, they have arguably one of the larger championship windows out of any NBA team right now, outside of say Boston and the Warriors and the Spurs, obviously, just because of the youth that they have and the upward trajectory. Those are the only things I'm basing it off, not the fact that they're a Minnesota sports team. So they're bound to disappoint.
Am I wrong in saying that it's a shame that the players that the Timberwolves have are in Minnesota instead of like somewhere else to where somebody would actually want to go? Like if they were in Miami, people are like, yeah, I'll go to Miami and play with Tony Towns and Wiggins and Levine and Rubio and all these guys, or even if they were like, in Washington or, God forbid, Atlanta. Like, yeah, I'll go and play it in Atlanta. But like, well, they're in Minnesota, so I'm not going to play there.
The other team, and this is, I don't really have a great feel for a third team if I'm eliminating like the Spurs or the.
Do it. Embrace the dark side.
How about this, Stackin?
No.
How about the Rockets?
I'm not going to.
How about the Rockets?
The Rockets would make a lot of sense.
Only if they bring back Dwight Howard, though.
Disgusting.
How about the
Dwight Howard.
Pelicans?
The who?
The Pelicans.
Pelicans.
I mean, if you could somehow land Chris Paul, LeBron James to go with Anthony Davis and Cousins, that would be. I'd like a camera crew to follow all four of them because that has comedy, drama, and terror written all over it. You could have like 3 different like miniseries. Yeah, ABC could have an entire Thursday night devoted to just those 4 guys in multiple different episode types.
I'm going to call this my David Schottenkirk statement of the show, in which I guarantee something that I don't have any knowledge of, but may happen or may not happen many years from now. David Schottenkirk guarantee. I believe LeBron leaves. I guarantee you, if he leaves or when he leaves, he sure as fuck isn't going to a Western Conference team. It's going to be in the East.
I would agree.
I think that's fair.
Statement.
So we can very much cut our options in half and say he will not go west of Memphis to play basketball.
Can there be one stipulation to this though?
What if they add a team to Vancouver? Will he go there? I don't know.
Are you doing the Escape from LA scene, Stackin, where you're just going to have an earthquake that cuts off part of the United States and redividing what's east and west? Is that what you're talking about?
Sure. What if the landscape of the NBA has changed by the time LeBron leaves, and the East all of a sudden rises again?
Not a
and the
chance.
West starts.
Not a
to shrink.
chance. When was the last time the East was better than the West? Top to bottom.
1998.
I mean, look at that.
Was it?
Actually, I don't even know if it was in 98.
The East
I'm
had the
pretty sure
best
it was when-
team, but like if you look at the West, was probably a little deeper. Like the
I'm
East,
pretty sure it was when Bill Russell was fighting in the Civil War.
so it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Like the West has been better for like 20. I don't know how. I have no idea how. You would think the draft would even things up. Free agency movement. I mean, they got LeBron for Christ's sake. That hasn't made a difference. He's just killing everybody. And if it wasn't for him, fuck, I don't know if the East would have ever won a title in the past 10 years. So, interesting discussion. Something I think we'll save for next week when they lose. Charlie touched on Chris Paul. We've talked about what team he may join. I mean, it could honestly be any team in the East. It doesn't matter. What players, though, will be his next two guys? We've had Bosh and Wade. We've had Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving. Chris Paul, you would assume, would be in that mix. Who, or maybe he wouldn't be.
Kristaps Porzingis.
Porzingis.
Carmelo Anthony.
So who would be LeBron's next two guys? So Charlie, if we call maybe the first rendition NWO Black and White, this Cleveland rendition's NWO Black and Red, what's the NWO what? Purple and gold? What do we got?
What was the one? The LWO, like the Latino
Good.
World Order?
Be a little
They have one of
green.
those.
Put some green and black and yellow and red and all that shit.
If we're trying to think of his teammates, both with Miami and with Cleveland, they went to a place where they had one guy, brought in LeBron, and brought in another free agent. So we got to know who there's at least one guy he's bringing in that will not be playing for the same team.
Yeah.
So I don't know whose contracts are up. If that's going to be like, Jimmy Butler or the guy whose name I always forget from the Indiana Pacers because he doesn't ever look very quiet, Paul George, somebody like that they're going to bring in to go, I don't know, to wherever other team they're going.
So we've seen LeBron goes to a team that has one great player, and that's it. One great player. LeBron will go there himself, and he'll bring along some other great player. So that has been the strategy 2 times in a row, and we'll see if that's the thing 3 times. So bring himself, Chris Paul, and what team is he going that has one really, really good guy? That'll be
I
fun.
also find it funny. I know we need to move on to other things, or maybe you've already moved or went to discuss other topics. But what do you think of Paul George landing in Cleveland via trade,
For Kevin Love?
and then 2? No, Kevin Love's still there.
They do not get rid of
Paul
Kevin
George,
Love.
First round pick, and
I don't think they have anything to give up. Which is unfortunate because Kevin Love, he's fine. And I like if people want to blame him for their losses, I'm not going to blame him at all. Like if they're moving a piece, like Kevin Love would be the only piece they can move. They would just replace him, and I don't know if that makes them any better anyway. So
that's totally fine. But so let's say I think Paul George, there's a decent chance that he gets moved, and honestly, I would say the favorite would be either the Los Angeles Lakers or the Cleveland Cavaliers. Those would be the 2 front runners. But at the same point, another point I've heard recently is that why are all these East teams making trades with the Cavaliers, or why would you make a trade with the Cavaliers to make them better?
I don't know how much better they can get. They only won like 50 games this year, so it's not like they just cruise controlled. If there's a team out there that fits my criteria of having one really good guy, you bring in LeBron, and LeBron brings in some other guy. My Bulls are a pretty good fit. They've got Jimmy Butler, one really good guy. Dwayne Wade doesn't count; he's old. LeBron and Chris Paul to Chicago with the Jimmy Butler. Is that enough to get my dick hard? I don't know. Probably.
Hey, you forgot about Rajon Rondo.
Rondo out. Get him out.
Is in this hypothetical sense, is Fred Hoiberg still the coach?
It doesn't matter.
Well, he's the assistant coach after LeBron James.
That would be interesting to see how I would react to LeBron going to Chicago. Like, I want my Bulls to win, I suppose. There we go. Stacking, any other thoughts in the world of sports?
Rafael Nadal did something today that may never be duplicated.
Why is he so
What
good?
is
I don't
that?
understand. Why is he so good on clay? I
I
can't.
don't know. It's just the surface that he probably played on the most in Spain. I don't know.
Like, what the hell does the surf? I mean, it's a hard court. It's a grass court. It's a clay court. I mean, I don't get it.
Clay is the most difficult to play on, and he's just the most skilled in it. So I mean, it's his 10th French Open title. That something that may never be done by any other player ever.
Am I the only one that when I look at the French, I didn't watch any of it. I look at the French Open. I see that orange colored clay. I think of France. I think of Thousand Island dressing. Am I the only one?
Yeah,
I guess I've never thought of Thousand Island dress only when I see that.
Would you say it's a similar color to the clay? Thousand Island dressing colored clay?
I mean, now that you mention it, I think it's fair, but I just had never thought of that.
I think it's more that you would probably. I think of all the shout and the tide to go that they need to get those
All the
clay
white.
stains out.
Terrible, yeah.
I always think, how come not everybody wins the French Open every year? Because they always surrender in France.
What a shot! What a shot! International incident. 221 in the lounge.
Preston,
You know, because we could always use another good international incident to spice things up.
Rest in peace, Bob Stoops. Let the rumors of Notre Dame start immediately.
Where's he going, Charlie? Where's he going?
According to Travis Krentz, you ready for inside sources here?
Yes.
Yeah, I got an inside source.
Yes. Oh,
Iowa. Alma mater. That's where he's going, Stackin. My inside source is
Or he could go somewhere
Travis Krentz.
Okay.
based on his Wikipedia.
That's fine.
Also, Thad Matta, you're
Oh,
gone.
yes.
And Greg McDermott, I think, made the right choice because I don't think he would have done much at Ohio State. But I'm very sad to see the Butler head coach go.
Chris Holtzman?
Chris Holtzman, yep. I would assume Butler's going to replace him with someone on their staff currently.
They're just going to keep
but,
rolling. They're just going to keep rolling.
It's a significant loss.
Wait, no, this is for both of you. This is what's going to happen for college football. Jim McElwain, struggle at Florida, fired. They're going to say, hey, who should we bring in? We're going to bring in, not Bob Stoops, who used to coach there. Surprise, left field. We're going to bring in Mike Gundy. Who's Oklahoma State going to bring in then? Oh, Oklahoma State's bringing in Bob Stoops.
I'd pay to watch that game. That'd be a good little goddamn game right there. That'd be cute.
I was going to say
Boom.
to replace the Hulk, go after West Virginia's head coach.
Boone Pickens, back up the truck. Stoops Field at Pickens Stadium. What team? I'll open this up to colleges. Any team you can think of, based on what their color combination tastes like. What team would have the best taste in jelly beans?
Ooh.
Oregon?
Well,
I don't know if Oregon's my final
Green?
answer. That's the first one that popped into
Green?
my head.
I think if you did that, it would be a lemon
lime
lime.
and yellow,
Like a
lime and lemon.
I like TCU.
Like, would you do it? Let's see here.
Phoenix
So we got
Suns.
this,
Phoenix
I think
Suns,
it would-
orange and purple.
TCU sometimes wears black though, so then you got to get it in.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Beans or
I don't like
It
that.
would probably be an island peach French vanilla or plum French vanilla combo for TCU.
Purple. I'm talking purple. Give me purple.
Yeah, a wild blackberry, maybe that.
There, now we're talking.
Or a mixed berry smoothie. Doesn't that sound good? Remember that?
Depending on what you like. I mean, this is obviously on taste preference. Possibly the Miami Hurricanes. You talk about lime and orange.
No.
Yep, you could do a sun-kissed lime and a sun-kissed orange. That would be good. Or lemon
There's a lot
lime
of
and sun.
I don't know what white would be, depending on what white could be, which in theory shouldn't be like really good. You can eliminate a lot of teams because a lot of teams are one color in white, like Nebraska or Oklahoma or Texas or Penn State.
The white or like slightly cream, if we want to go that route. We'll just the main ones that would be coconut, A&W cream soda, and French vanilla. French vanilla does have a few speckles in it. Also, there's toasted marshmallow. That's like a darker white and brown. And buttered popcorn is white with yellow in it.
But you got to remember, I don't know, maybe this isn't how trends been. I assume this was like you're throwing 3 of each flavor in your mouth at the same time.
Right.
They got to mix well together also.
How about the Stanford tree? Because you could get cherry.
Strawberry.
You could get, there's a little green in there, so throw a little kiwi or green apple. And a red apple as well.
I'm still going with any purple and orange combination. Purple and orange.
So, like Clemson.
Clemson. Great. Where do you get your jelly beans?
Clemson, once again, team of the sports lounge.
Jelly bean tigers. Where do you are those available in the stores up there?
Yes, this can be found at Costco
Oh my heavens!
for I believe $13.99.
You like the variety? Do they have just plain same old jelly bean the same color in one big pack? I want all the blue jelly beans.
Jelly bean colors.
Can I just?
That you would have to go to a candy store and then you could just get it, but they charge you up the yin yang
Son of a
for that
bitch.
half pound or pound. Like a half pound is $4.99 or some ungodly, unreasonable number.
It's like I'm buying a steak.
May as well. Steak would get you more.
We end the program. Talk about your kid.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, he says. Thank you. Talk about your kid. Oh, thank you, he says.
Well, very soon, the Sports Lounge will have another guest. I
Terrific.
shouldn't say really soon.
How excited are you? How pumped are you, Charlie, to see a goddamn kid on his lap like in January?
The official child of the sports lounge.
Let's see, we're at
Yes.
221 right now, 221, so we're like 80 away from 300. The kid,
And we can't wait to see LeVar, the chosen one, stack it.
250. How do you know how many weeks are left?
Roughly 25, well, we'll say 26.
26 plus 21. I would say I want this kid at 3 weeks old to debut on the lounge at show 250.
Okay, we can work this out. Yeah, probably sometime in January.
A quarter of 1,000 fucking shows. A goddamn kid. Okay.
Little stacking will be around. My wife Kelsey and I are very excited. I'm nervous.
You're nervous, you
We do
said.
not know what we will have. We will wait until the birth. It'll be the ultimate surprise.
So you don't know.
So you're not going to paint the room the color you want ahead of time based on...
No.
Actually, I don't know what color you're painting the room. Maybe you're just going to paint it white, so it wouldn't matter.
It will be in this room that I do the show. So I
Oh
will be doing
my
the show.
heavens! He's taking over the studio.
I know. We're gonna have to do something completely different. I will not reveal the names right now, but there is a name that I know Travis will absolutely love.
Sebastian.
Is LeVar or Dalvin on the list?
LeVar and Dalvin, unfortunately, did not make the cut.
I bet
Facebook,
Max is on the list.
as I told Charlie on Facebook, I would much rather name my kid Donald than I would
Wow.
LeVar.
Barack Stacken.
And
I get that before. Now, before I read that, I was like, I don't get it. But now I get it. Because you don't want him at the same name as the president. Way more sense now. No, I read it at first because so many times they just call him by his last name. I was like, what does he have against Donald Duck?
Donald Sterling.
Yes, roughly the first week or two in December is when the little Rugrat's supposed to come. So
Stan Stack.
very excited.
Stan
We
Stack.
thank you for the love and support, the appreciation, and my appearances will be numbered a little bit initially, and maybe
How
throughout.
will this affect the podcast? The podcast and the blog.
The podcast and the blog will definitely be affected. We
What a
will
deal.
have to either go
What a deal.
shorter times in between.
Quarterly? A
apps.
quarterly subscription?
I don't know. Well, probably not quarterly. We still have to work out all the details. The blog will probably maybe only post 2 or 3 times a week versus 4
Well,
or 5.
hey, you'll be up in the middle of the night. You can post a quick blog while there's kids eating.
I'll just be pushing on the stroller and typing with my left hand. By the time the kid goes to sleep, I might be done with the paragraph.
Let's talk
So
about
that would
those
be
NFC
great.
wildcard playoffs. Bucks-Panthers should be a good one.
If you really want to be safe, a lot of kids I've heard, they like to be driven around to go back to sleep. So you can hold the kid in one, drive with your foot and your knees, and you use your cell phone to do the blog with the other one. Because that's probably the safe way to do things.
That very well could be. Regardless, big news. And I know that this. I know
Is the
Travis,
dog still in
if
here?
we do, he's pawing at the door.
Oh, let this bastard in. Let this bastard in.
But
Yes.
I will be discussing names with you guys later, or presenting the names that we have decided.
I say we do a bracket. You love brackets like you love your dog. I say we put a bracket together.
I like it.
The Troy
If
region.
the 16 seed,
The Jessica
if
region.
if the 16
Batman regional.
If the 16th seed LeVar, I can tell you right now. Well, I'll tell you what names did not make the cut. They were on the bubble. But they are no longer there. I'll discuss that after the show.
There we go.
Is RoboCop or Terminator one of the names still on the list?
No, but Optimus Prime is on the list.
Sweet. I like that.
When did you know you were having a kid, or that you had helped in the process of making a kid?
I thought that maybe I would have some stuff given away because I've had these sorts of books.
Three. What? Where No, we got no score stacking. It's going to be triple overtime, 0-0.
So we do have the little football onesie.
Baby
here
stacking,
that,
there you go. Then throw the kid. Laces out, stacking. Laces out.
They've probably been sitting on this shelf for a little while, and
I've not seen it.
glad that they've gone away. So we have known those. I think again, you said, which I believe is
Summer League tournament.
this kid's not. Yeah,
Summer League tournament.
this kid's not due in March, right?
Was this kid made because of the Summer League tournament? I believe it is, yes.
Either I would say probably not.
Was this kid? Was the development of this kid before or after the Summer League tournament?
After.
Well, there you go.
Stacking, since your significant other is pregnant, I want to be the first to congratulate you specifically for this. Congrats on the sex.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
There we go. Very exciting.
Is it
Well,
trivia or no trivia?
we'll go trivia. What was? I just want what was the reaction of Ma stacking? That's all I care about. Ma stacking.
She freaked out. She's like, she yelled.
What did you called her on the phone or how did this go?
She said, yeah, because we called her on the phone and she screamed to my stepdad like, "Ah, they're not baby."
Terrific.
So this is a big deal there.
If I ever had a kid, I would seriously consider steering this person away from being a Viking fan. That's how much as it has affected me in my life. I know this kid will be a huge Viking fan, such as you are. If I ever have another person, I would seriously consider saying, hey, don't root for this fucking team. Do not.
Misery loves company. That's
God
what I'll say
damn
to
it.
that.
God damn it. Charlie
Prince is
Hildebrand.
very good at looking at his own team subjectively.
Like, fuck.
Being like, you know what, this was a bad idea.
Remember that time that I thought they were going to be good and they disappointed me, and then like 5 straight times that happened and they lost every time. Maybe they're just going to keep losing forever. So there you go.
By the way, Predators just got majorly screwed. Majorly screwed.
Up is this the only thing that could top a Viking Super Bowl in your life?
Right now, it is. I'd say the Wild winning the Stanley Cup would be the penultimate. Well, the Vikings winning the Super Bowl would be the penultimate moment, the sports moment in my life. The Wild winning the Stanley Cup would be second, and I believe either SDSU making it to a Sweet 16, the men, or the Nashville Predators winning the Stanley Cup would be fourth.
Or baseball making it to a super regional. There you go.
That'd be fine. And also Iceland winning it all in the World Cup.
There we go. Trivia question from Charlie. One thing I know about it is it has nothing to do with anything relevant today.
Slight backstory. This is not the same, but it's similar to
Quotes?
the sports movie trivia one.
All right.
Just in that it's
That's a good one.
different. Only in that it's different, though. This started that I found. I mean, I didn't lose it. But I was looking through the center console in my car, found my old iPod I hadn't listened to in a while.
Songs?
And was driving and was like, hey, I'll just, listen to I'll listen until, like, I know what the song is, and then I'll go to the next one, kind of like name that tune with myself. Now, name that tune I don't think would work that well. So instead, what we're doing...
Did you take this from Fox's, Shazam show?
I did not take it from that, but there are some similarities. I will be reading lyrics, and then you will attempt to guess the song and the band.
Are these all songs on your iPod, or these are just...
These are all songs that are on my iPod. Now, the other thing, to make this interesting, I broke it into Jeopardy. It's not like Jeopardy, but it's like Jeopardy that there's categories and different point values.
Very good.
And the ones worth more are harder.
I'm very excited.
More money if you get it, or more points if you get it right. And for however many points, it's half for getting the song right, half for getting the band right.
Okay.
I will be relatively lenient in most cases on the title. I mean, I'm trying to think of an example of one. I mean,
song titles could be tough. Band
we'll
should be...
use an easy one, like a nursery rhyme. If you said the name of the song is Old MacDonald Had a Farm, E-I-E-I-O, I wouldn't hold that against you.
Good.
So I will tell you the categories. In each one, there's 4. There are 80s power ballads that Charlie may have sang at Main Street Pub.
Probably did.
TV show theme songs.
Great.
That one you don't. This one you don't have to guess the name of the song or who sang it. You just have to guess what show it's from.
Yep.
And then the other ones, football hype-up songs.
Good.
British invasion songs.
Yeah.
Beatles.
And potpourri.
A mix.
Just a mix of stuff. And then the other thing that there are not any Clint Eastwood things. There are a couple things in here that have been used in sports movies, so that will be the how it's related to sports. Trying to think of anything else. There's 4 each. 1, 2, 3, or 4 points, and like I said, you get half for getting the song right, half for getting the group right that sings it. And since potpourri, you don't know what it is, and they are harder, those ones are worth double. So instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, they're 2, 4, 6, and 8 points.
Holy balls. Alrighty.
And then, you know what? I guess since Stackin had the good news recently, I will let him go first. I will keep track of scores. If you ever need to know how many are left in the category or what points are left, I will let you know that if you ask. If you want to write ones down on your own to keep track, that might also help. But you're up, Stackin, and again, the categories: 80s power ballads that Charlie may have sang at Main Street Pub.
I want the TV theme song.
Okay.
You son of a bitch.
1, 2, 3, or 4 points.
Number 3.
Okay, and this is the only one. It's only for this category where it's like this. You get full points for naming the show. You You don't have to name the song. I didn't even look up who sang any of these songs.
Okay.
So for 3. And also, I will attempt to just read these and not read them
In
song
tune.
cadence style. But it might work out that way. I don't know. Okay. If the teacher pops a test, I know I'm in a mess, and my dog ate all my homework last night. Right alone in my chair, she won't know that I'm there. If I can hand it in tomorrow, it will be all right.
Saved by the Bell.
Look at you.
That is 1 point for stacking. Or, sorry, 3 points for stacking.
And I can only hope that we all enjoyed Bob Bullock in that.
College years. Very good.
That's right, he wasn't that. I forgot about that.
Bigger
All
Mike.
right,
TV shows for 4, sir. TV shows for 4.
TV shows for 4. There are 3 or 4 ones in here that I will say are kind of jerk ones. They're difficult. Some are difficult and also almost like trick questions or riddles. This one, I'm not saying you can't get this. This is just kind of like, this is going to sound dumb saying this. Like, you're either going to get it or you're not. It's unlikely you will be able to
Yes.
if you don't know it right away. But okay, theme song. Ba 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 da 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 da.
Give it to me again.
Ba 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 da 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 da.
I'm going to go with Arrested Development.
It is not Arrested Development. It is How I Met Your Mother.
Ah,
They
yes.
go, ba, 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 ba. That was that one.
That was a good
That
one.
was one of 3 or 4 ones. So we are back to stacking.
I will do pot for 2 points, please.
Potpourri for 2. Now remember, this is 2, 4, 6, and 8. So do you want the 2?
Oh,
or do you
give me
want
the
the
4
second?
points. The 4 points, please.
I'll take
Potpourri for 4.
I'll take Jap Anus Relations for 200.
All right, second. So we need both the title of the song and who sings it. This is only a 4-point one as opposed to 6 or 8, but all the potpourri ones are difficult. Out here in the fields, I fight for my meals. I get my back into my living. I don't need to fight to prove I'm right. I don't need to be forgiven. Don't cry. Don't raise your eye. It's only Teenage Wasteland. And if you hear that and think, oh,
Yep.
that song Teenage Wasteland, that is
Yep.
not the title of the song, and that is why it's in here.
Oh,
You've brought Stack into tears.
That's what potpourri does.
So does he? So what does he get?
Not that.
Does he get 2 and 2, or how's this work?
It's a 4-point one, so if you get the song title right, that's 2.
Okay.
And if you get the band right, that's 2. If you get them both, it's 4.
I don't know. I don't know who sings it. I don't know.
I don't know what this Presidents of America and I don't.
You giving up?
Yeah, I don't have it.
The name of the song is Baba O'Reilly, and it is by The Who.
The Who. Oh, that's right.
But everyone calls it Teenage Wasteland, and I actually couldn't even remember the name. Had to double check on the name myself because I wasn't.
See, what threw me off is because you said it's not the name of the song. So then I immediately I went away from the Who because I know they did all the CSI Miami or the New York. Because that's actually Teenage Wasteland is the TV theme song to CSI New York. But then when you said it's not that, then I kind of went away from the Who, and that should have not have happened.
Sucks when it works
Anyway.
out that way.
It does.
Back
TV
to Chris.
TV shows for 2, please. TV shows for 2.
TV shows for 2. The lyrics. Your job's a joke, you're broke, your love life's DOA. It's like you're always stuck in second gear when it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or your year.
I'm going to go with Friends. TV show Friends for 2.
That is correct. That is 2 points for Chris.
Give me TV shows for one, please.
God.
TV shows for
Damn
one,
it.
for stacking. The lyrics. This is the final TV show theme song. So this category will be done. Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away?
Isn't it Cheers?
You're correct. That is Cheers for 1 point. And then now, since we are out of one category, we have all 4 in 80s power ballads that Charlie may have sang at Main Street Pub. We have all 4 in football hype-up songs, all 4 in British invasion songs, and 3 left in potpourri.
Football for 2.
Football for 2. And also, this one, I will tell you that I have these songs on my iPod, and one of my 4 years of high school football, at least, this was a song that was used on our Let's Get Popped Up for the Game by laying down in the wrestling room and listening to music for half an hour, which, spoiler alert, after my first year, half the guys usually ended up falling asleep. Because when you put everyone in a dark room and turn the lights all off, it's easier to fall asleep. Anyways, football hype-up songs for 2. Went through to Texas, and we had some fun. We met some girls, some dancers who gave a good time, broke all the rules, played all the fools. Yeah, they blew our minds.
AC/DC.
AC/DC is the correct band.
Thunderstruck.
For 1 of your 2 points.
Thunderstruck.
Thunderstruck. That is correct. 2
What a
points
deal.
for Travis.
What a deal.
That ties the game at 4.
I'm-
Back to
We'll
stack.
go with 80s ballads that Charlie may have sang at Main Street Pub for 3, please.
I'm Pittsburgh, you're Nashville.
For 3. All right, Stacken, and your lyrics are, your love is like a shadow on me all of the time. I don't know what to do, and I'm always in the dark. We're living in a powder keg and giving off sparks. I really need you tonight. Forever's gonna start tonight. Forever's gonna start tonight.
Yep.
Stacken is doing what I did when I was doing this on my iPod, that I would, at the beginning, start sprinting through the entire lyrics in my head to try to get to the chorus and remember what that means. Or at least that's what I'm assuming, Stack.
I really need you now. Forever's gonna start tonight. Forever's gonna start tonight. I know it because it's like a lyrical lyric song. Something with heart in it. I'm going to say Celine Dion for the singer, but I don't think that's right.
80s
Not
power
Celine
ballads.
Dion, so you cannot get
The half point. 1.5.
1.5 points. You can still get 1.5 for the song.
Total Eclipse of the Heart.
That is correct. It is Total Eclipse of the Heart by Bonnie Tyler. So stack in. It's 1 tally to put them at 5, then another for a 0.5.
Have you ever seen the literal lyric video to this song?
The music video, or
Yeah.
just a video? I've seen the music video, and it is incredibly weird.
Yes. If you so they do lyrics to what the music video is. It's very funny.
Oh, you're talking about, okay, sorry, I know what you're talking about. I have not seen that. I was just talking about the actual music video that they
It is strange.
did. It's really
But then they do words over, like to the same tune, but to that, it's very good.
This song was also sang, sort of parodied in the movie Old School by the Dan Band, where he throws a couple F words in the song, and that's how I was singing at Main Street Pub.
And it's Sackin's wedding.
Usually for good laughs.
And it's Sackin's wedding.
All right. I was going to, never got to do that. Actually, I don't even remember if they played that song or not.
Football for one. Football for one.
Football for one for Travis Krenz. Lyrics. We got everything you want, honey. We know the names. We are the people that can find whatever you may need. If you got the money, honey, we got your disease.
God dang it.
Welcome to the jungle.
That is correct for half of the 1 points.
Oh my God, what a save by Murray.
Fuck sings that? Welcome to the jungle. I don't know who sings it. I don't know.
Give it up.
There's a song we used for Stiglmeyer. Yep, I give up.
It was Guns N' Roses.
That's right.
Ah,
Interesting side note on that song. Allegedly, I don't remember if he was a drug lord or a dictatorial general somewhere in Central America. Manuel Noriega. You ever heard of him? He was locked in a building somewhere, and the authorities couldn't get him out. Allegedly, they played "Welcome to the Jungle" on an incredibly loud speaker over and over and over for hours and hours and hours until he finally
That was enough.
came out.
What were the 2-point values of the 80s or of the football ones?
Quinns has done 1 and 2. 3 and 4 are still open for football.
I will do number 3 in the football.
Football hype up songs. Stacking. No, not going to say anything. I don't want to tip my hand in any way. I will just read the lyrics. Sleep with one eye open, gripping your pillow tight. Exit light, enter night. Take my hand. We're off to Never Never Land. And once it's stacking, reciting the entire lyrics of the song that he knows, but struggling to come up with the name of the band or the title of the song.
You know what's funny about this?
Would come across as I'm mocking you. This happened to me a lot when I was listening to these on my iPod, where I was like, I know this, but I can't remember what it's called.
You know what I
Enter
find?
Sandman.
You know what I find funny about this? Because this is the song Mariano Rivera used when he came out of the bullpen.
Yes.
This is what I.
Did you say the name of a title?
Enter Sandman.
That is the correct title. That is for 1.5.
I'm so bad with band names because the only ones I was thinking of are like AC/DC and
Brooks and Dunn.
Yeah,
Brooks and Dunn.
Brooks and Dunn. Little Big Town.
I hate to spoil things, but I will tell you it is not Brooks and Dunn.
I know.
Maybe not the version you're familiar with, but.
It is not Johnny Cash or Faith Hill that sings it either.
I
The
know
pain,
it's
the pain in your face at the moment is just.
Leonard Skinner.
It is not Leonard Skinner. I will give you, so you get half credit, so I will not completely make fun of you, because this is also the song that your Virginia Tech Hokies come out to every game. Enter Sandman by Metallica. Oh, for God's sake.
I
I
believe-
am so bad with band names. Like, this is... At least I'm getting the names right.
I believe Triple H has also come out to this song for WrestleMania.
That puts Stacking at 7 points, and we are back to Chris.
Football for 4, the category, sir. Football for 4.
Football for 4. The lyrics. He was turned to steel in the great magnetic field where he traveled time for the future of mankind. Nobody wants him. He just stares at the world, planning his vengeance that he will soon unfold.
Do that again. Shit.
He was turned to steel in the great magnetic field where he traveled time for the future of mankind. Nobody wants him. He just stares at the world, planning his vengeance that he will soon unfold.
I do not know the name of the song. I do not know who the fuck sang it. Because there are
I will
rhymes.
say this. I will be a little more lenient with who the band that sings this. I will not give you any more information from that.
You said a band. I had one person. I will just say Eminem. So I'll be wrong.
It is not Eminem. Are you going to guess the song title?
I do not know the song title at all. No.
I know the song title. I think. Is it Iron Man?
Yep, I was going to say the song title is also a
By Ozzy
superhero
Osbourne?
they've made movies about. And then I was going to be, it's by Black Sabbath. If you would have said Ozzy Osbourne, I was still giving you credit.
By the way, did anyone ever watch the Disney movie, The Iron Giant?
I've not seen it. I have heard people say it was good, and I believe Vin Diesel was the voice of the robot, but I've not seen it.
Yes. When I hear Iron Man, I think of Iron Giant.
I think of Cal Ripken Jr.
So, back to stacking. The score is 6 to 4.5. TV show theme songs and football hype up songs are gone. There are 3 left in 80s power ballads, 3 left in potpourri, and all 4 in British invasion songs. The British invasion songs, I will say, those are all songs from the 1960s or 1970s.
You know what they say, stacking? 6 of one, 4.5 for the other.
Yes. We're not talking about the size of my feet, are we?
Yes, we are. 1 and 6.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
I will go with Main Street Pub Song for 3.
Say for what?
It's already been taken.
3 is the one that you did. You can do 1, 2, or 4.
Then I'll take 2. I'll go 2.
All right. Lyrics. I was going to mention this earlier. I forgot to. I don't want to. I'll mention it after this one because it's unlikely this would affect you in any way. All right. The lyrics of the song. You're motoring. What's your price for flight? In finding Mr. Right, you'll be all right tonight.
I know the song. I have no idea who sings it. I have no idea what the fuck the title is.
I've heard of it too.
It was the first dance at your wedding, this song.
I don't believe so. I'll say Africa by Toto.
What?
Stacking. I got a couple things. A, that's incorrect. Yeah, I know that. I came really close to putting that song on this list,
my
but it is not on here.
I know, and that's one of my favorite songs. I just couldn't think of any.
Oh my god.
It is Sister Christian by Night Ranger.
Really?
Okay, well, I wouldn't have gotten either of those.
The thing I was going to tell you is that for most of these songs, and I don't know, musically, if you guys ever played any instruments or had to do choir or something, I'm assuming you guys know the difference between the verses and the chorus in a song.
Yes.
Most of these, I am using the verse.
Not the chorus.
That song was one of a few exceptions where it is the chorus I'm using. Because obviously, I'm not going to do the part of the song where it literally says the title of the song. But I could for that one.
Potpourri for 1.
Yeah.
Potpourri for 1. I'm going to single your ass to death.
Potpourri for 1, although it's for 2 points, the easiest one in potpourri, because those are all
potpourri.
worth double.
For 2, double my
that
points.
doesn't change your mind,
It does not. It makes me more excited.
All right, the lyrics. To all the fellas out there with ladies to impress, it's easy to do. Just follow these steps. 1, cut a hole in a box. 2, put your junk in that box. 3, make her open the box, and that's the way you do it.
I'll say dick in a box. by Justin Timberlake and Andy Samberg.
Technically, it's by The Lonely Island. I will be lenient with that because they both sing it. So that will give Crins both points.
Cut a hole. See, Stacking, cut a hole in the box. Put your dick in a box. There you go.
We now are at a barn burner, Stacking leading 7.
You know what this is?
6.5.
You know what this is? We were on our great run of championship games for a year. We're on a great run of trivia now.
That's right. Oh, Stacking, you should have been here for the sports movie trivia one. It was down to the final question.
Are we exceeding your expectations with how we're getting these answers, or no?
I would say you guys are meeting my expectations. There were a couple that were tough. You know, I figured I think you guys. I didn't really expect anyone to get the "How I Met Your Mother" song.
Da 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 da.
I did not expect anyone to get Bobo O'Reilly, which is the Teenage Wasteland song.
Are you?
Right. But most of the other ones, I thought, yeah, there's a good chance they'll get this, and they've been gone. So yeah.
Stacking, do you feel like there was a missed opportunity at the wedding to not do the groomsmen and you doing Dick in the Box? I feel like that was a missed opportunity.
I believe there was a missed opportunity for Lonely Island and Akon, if you know what I mean.
Terrific.
And I will bring up again that each group only listed once in here. There are not any repeats. So if you're keeping track of what bands have been used,
right,
it can be used again.
I will go with the drunk songs at Main Street Pub for one, please.
That's not quite what the category is, but I know which one you're referring to. The lyrics: working hard to get my fill, everybody wants a thrill, paying anything to roll the dice just one more time. Some will win, some will lose, some were born to sing the blues. Oh, the movie never ends, it goes on and on and on and on.
Well, it's Journey, and
that's correct.
I'm failing on this. This is terrible.
I like doing these questions that are different, and of all the different questions, maybe my favorite thing is I can just hear Stacking like sprinting through the lyrics as fast as he can in his head to try to figure out what it is. I enjoy this.
I'm getting like stupid Iron Giant and all that, Iron Man and sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm just gonna retire if I don't get this song right here.
Call him Bob Stoops, folks. Call him Bob Stoops.
Well, I mean, if you feel better, you are currently winning right now. So, I mean, it's
no,
close.
I know, but this is an easy one here.
He feels like New England he feels like Atlanta up 10 points. Oh my
Don't
heavens.
stop.
Oh my heavens.
That would have driven. I would have.
That is correct.
Off that.
Don't Stop Believing by Journey. There is a quick update. There's one left in 80s power ballads that Charlie may have sang at Main Street Pub. We are out of both theme songs and hype-up songs for football. All 4 left in British Invasion. And there are 2 left in the more difficult but double the points potpourri.
Can I ask you with the... I'll ask after this.
Potpourri for 6.
Potpourri for 6. If it gets to a point where Crins is stumped, I will allow Crins to say, would it be okay with Stacking for a clue? And I will do this. Well, and if Stacking says okay, I will give you a minor clue.
Give me half the points?
That may or may not help. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Okay.
The lyrics: oh my, this here Anakin guy. Maybe Vader someday later, now he's just a small fry. And he left his home and kissed his mommy goodbye, saying, soon I'm going to be a Jedi, soon I'm going to be a Jedi.
This is right at my wheelhouse.
Yeah, I heard so.
Stacking, you're just picking the wrong ones. You got to pick the right ones, Stacking.
What was this one? How many points? What was the point value?
One more time. I've heard the song. Again, I don't know who sang it or what the fuck. One more
Oh,
time.
my, this here Anakin guy, maybe Vader someday later, now he's just a small fry. He left his home and kissed his mommy goodbye, saying, soon I'm gonna be a Jedi, soon I'm gonna be a Jedi.
Don't know the song. I'm gonna guess Blink 182.
No, it's.
Who is
It
it?
is not Blink-182. Do you want to guess a title or
No. Nope.
It is the clue I was going to give, I'm quite confident the way this has gone and it would not have helped you. It may have possibly helped you. I mean, it could have helped you guess the band, right? But not the song. It is a parody song by Weird Al.
Yep. Weird Al
So
Yankovic.
instead of American Pie by Don McLean,
Okay.
it is The Saga Begins about a Star Wars movie. And so that's probably why it sounded familiar.
Yes.
Maybe you remember the song itself, but it is beat for beat the same as American Pie by Don McLean.
Did anyone else like Weird Al like I did?
There was a phase for about a year and a half where I owned more music from Weird Al when I was in like 4th or 5th grade than maybe everybody else combined. So I will answer with yes, Zach. I did.
Stacken's just bring this dog in here. Bring the dog in. Absolutely, get this dog in this. That's right. Put him on top of the desk. On top of the desk. Hello, pup. Hi. You want in on this? There we go. Hello, folks. I think you're muted again, so that's not great. 5 time WCW champion, Nathan Stack.
Booker T. That's who you're referring to.
How could I do a wrestling trivia thing with Stackin?
What's that?
I feel like his knowledge of the wrestling would not be do like wrestling trivia, but
All right, here we go.
couldn't.
Back.
We can hear you now, Stackett.
All right, there. All right.
You have one in mind, or do you need to know what's left?
does this dog ever bark?
Yes, he barks. Trust me. Do we have any left in the ballot or no?
There is the 4-point question left in 80s Power Ballads.
Yep. Let's go with Main Street for 4.
And the lyrics.
Here's the question I wanted to ask though. What was the intoxication level when you sang these songs?
Very high.
None of them stone cold sober. Varying degrees after that. None of them I ever did by myself. Like, I'm okay going up and singing and getting a little excited, but I needed at least one other person up there, preferably someone with a better singing voice than me, to carry some of the high notes. But yeah.
Did you ever?
I like to do
So
the
these,
the duos where I can rap. So
I know. I think Krenz and Drew Ahmed. I don't remember if Traxler was there. Saw me do it once. I was pretty intoxicated that time. I know.
Hobo Day 2011. Did you ever have to do anything with wrestling, or not wrestling, but swimming, as far as announcing for swimming?
I did have to announce some stuff for swimming.
How does this compare, singing these songs to announcing for swimming?
Singing the songs is much more fun.
Okay.
well, I assume
I'm not like nervous when I announce. Like I'm okay with talking, and like by no means am I saying like I'm a horrible singer, but I'm definitely not someone that you would be like, wow, that guy's good, or even that guy's decent.
I may
So
or may not have
singing,
seen.
I just don't want to do it by myself.
I may have or may not have seen a cartwheel as well. So there you go.
Did I talk about swimming when I did it?
No, you were singing when you did the cartwheel.
I would
I
think.
think maybe, I don't know. Maybe I
I
combined
would
two
think you
stories.
would rather be have like at least 5 beers while announcing swimming, wouldn't you?
Oh, it would be much more fun.
Would you rather be black in Germany or Asian in Italy?
I don't know. Never thought about that before.
I don't know.
I'll let Stacken's dog answer that question for me.
Brophy?
Rumpy, get in here.
Bro. Jesus.
Come here.
All right, Stacken.
Yep.
The lyrics. I keep searching for an answer. I never seem to find what I'm looking for. Oh Lord, I pray you give me strength to carry on, because I know what it means to walk along the lonely street of dreams.
Oh, Aerosmith. And
That is incorrect. It's not Aerosmith.
not.
Now, there are times you've been way off. I can understand how you would think that with this. You're in the ballpark.
So I was
Right,
gonna say it was like boardwalk or something, right? No.
Under the boardwalk.
That is incorrect. It is Here I Go Again by Whitesnake.
Here we go. Okay.
What's the song I'm thinking of that has Isn't it Aerosmith that was it Living on a God?
Living on a Prayer is by Bon Jovi. I can say that because there's
Right, yeah.
not any Bon Jovi on this quiz.
I told you, I'm terrible with names. I'm surprised I know your guys.
The funny thing, you keep saying that, you are really good whenever it's Travis's turn and you don't pick it. Whenever it's your turn, it's one you don't know.
That's very true.
So we are back to Crins, done with everything on sheet 1. On sheet 2, we have 1 left in Potpourri and all 4 in British Invasion.
What's the score?
Stacken leads 8 to 6.5.
I know I am not the better team, but I can still win somehow. British for 2.
British Invasion songs for 2.
It's a big one.
And the lyrics: Mama just killed a man, put a gun against his head, pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Mama, life has just begun, but now I've gone and thrown it all away.
What the fuck?
It appears Prince has not heard this song before.
Was this before or after Brexit?
This is before. All these songs are from the 60s and 70s.
One more time, please. Holy shit.
Mama just killed a man, put a gun against his head, pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Mama, life had just begun, but now I've gone and thrown it all away.
Only guess I'll have is the Rolling Stones.
It is not the Rolling Stones. I'm assuming you're not going to guess the title.
Not a chance.
If you do not know the song name, there's almost no way you could guess it because they don't say it anywhere in the song. It is Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen.
Are you shitting me? I've heard of that song. Oh yes. Not.
This is terrible.
That is from earlier in the song.
This is terrible. I keep knowing what Travis has. Now I'm gonna pick something terrible. I'm gonna pick.
Stacken is literally picking whammy, 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 whammy all across the board. The last 4 or 5. Oh, actually, and I'm not saying this to knock or belittle you. But it's been a little while since either of you guys have gotten one right. In some, and I don't blame you guys. It seemed like you went with the categories you felt strong about first, and then the ones you weren't as sure you left towards the end. And I can understand that.
We'll go with the British Invasion song for are these the 1, 2, 3, 4?
There's 1, 3, and 4 left in those.
I'll go with 1.
All right. And the lyrics. When I was younger, so much younger than today, I never needed anybody's help in any way. But now these days are gone and I'm not so self-assured. Now I find I've changed my mind. I've opened up the doors.
I'll say the Beatles. Is that right or wrong?
That is correct for half a point.
Okay. And I will say that Doors is the name of the song.
You are correct that it is a one-word song title, but it is not Doors. It is Help.
Help!
Oh, from the album cover. That would make sense. Did they have a song named called Doors? I can't remember.
I don't know. There was a band named The Doors. The Beatles, they had loads of songs, though. You know, they were famous for a decade.
What
I'm not going to pretend I know every
What
Beatles.
do I want?
There are There's 3 and 4 points in British Invasion and 8 points in Potpourri.
I'm thinking strategy here. If I pick this, what will Stacken pick? Or if I pick this, what will Stacken pick? I will not save my closer for the 9th. I'll put him in the 8th. I'll go for Potpourri for 8. For the win!
All right.
Hold on. Stacken, if I would have picked...
The sword has changed my only in the fact that I will tell you an ever so small clue ahead of time, because I feel like this is the most difficult one of the entire.
Stacken. If I would have picked British for 3, what would you have picked?
I don't know. I don't know a lot of British bands off the top of my head. Is Bruno Mars from Britain? Oh wait, it's not the 60s and 70s. Yeah, he's not from the 60s and 70s.
There's not any Bruno Mars on this.
He's from Des Moines.
You are good so far, Grins.
Okay.
I wouldn't have anything for you.
I don't know if this song was originally made for a movie or not, but this song features heavily in a sports or sports-related movie from the 1980s. That is the small clue I will give you. I will not say the name of the movie or what sport it is. And the lyrics... Try to be best because you're only a man and a man's got to learn to take it. Try to believe, though the going gets rough, that you got to hang tough to make it. History repeats itself. Try and you'll succeed. Never doubt that you're the one and you can have your dreams. And I copied this from a lyrics website to get it right. And after the "and you can have your dreams," it had an exclamation point. That's probably not relevant, but I tossed that in there just in case.
I think I know. Give it to me one more time. I think I know the name. I may have to think a while for the artist or band. One more. I think I know. Okay, what? One more time.
Try to be best because you're only a man and a man's got to learn to take it. Try to believe, though the going gets rough, that you got to hang tough to make it. History repeats itself. Try and you'll succeed. Never doubt that you're the one and you can have your dreams.
I don't know who sang it. I've heard of them. I don't know who it is. My guess. I'm going to say it's Eye of the Tiger.
For a second, did you say Eye of the Tiger?
Yes.
It is not Eye of the Tiger. I came very close to putting that in football hype-up songs because it was one we listened to, but did not because I don't remember why, but I didn't put it in there.
What sport is this movie?
It is a karate movie.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. Karate Kid.
It is from the movie The Karate Kid.
That was all we needed for that, right? Just the movie? Or the song? What was the song?
No, that's not the name of the song. The name of the song is, or that wouldn't have given you any points. That was just a clue.
No.
It was, You're the Best Around.
Oh, my heavens.
By Joe Esposito. I don't know who Joe Esposito is, but I've heard that song a few times. So, Stackin, you are up 8.5 to 6.5.
If anybody can get one right, they win.
There are 3 and 4 point questions left in British Invasion songs. If you get the question correct, you will win.
That's it? We're done with
those are the only 2 left. There's 3 points and 4 points left in British Invasion.
Okay, so just those 2 questions remain.
Yep.
Well,
the 3 or the 4 point.
We'll go with the 3 one. I'm not saying I'm blowing a 3-1 lead. I'm just saying I'll go with the 3-point answer.
And the lyrics. We come from the land of the ice and snow, from the midnight sun where the hot springs flow. Hammer of the gods will drive our ships to new land to fight the hordes and sing and cry, Valhalla, I am coming. Stackett is incredibly good at knowing the exact beat of the song and the lyrics, and then
That's it.
not being able to do a whole lot with it after that.
But I've gotten it then when
And as a side note, I feel like this could be a great theme song for the Minnesota Vikings.
it is.
We pissed our pants again. We shit our pants all over the place.
No Vikings.
Oh, fuck.
And I will not remind you of ones that have been guessed for British invasions. If you get the band correct, you get half points.
Yeah.
And there are not any repeats. Now I will not go back and tell you which bands have been used, but you may be able to use that to narrow things down for a guess.
The only way Stacken can win on this question is getting both of them.
Let's see.
Right, I'm up 8 and
That's
after
correct. He needs both of them to win right here.
But then I would need to get both of mine, so if he doesn't get any, I will need one of mine to win on the other one.
If you only get one of yours is 4 points. So if he doesn't get any and you get one,
I win.
it would tie it at 8.5.
Okay.
And then I would have to come up with the tiebreaker question.
I would get 2 points.
You would get 2 points because it's a 4-point question that you'll get. So you get half for the song right, half for the band right. Do you need the lyrics again, Stack?
No. It's not. The name's not coming to me. I'm running through the entire song.
I will tell you the name of the song is not mentioned anywhere in the song.
Well, Stacken, you
I was
said
going to say, like, Iceland, but I don't think that's right.
That is not the name of the song. I would advise you to at least guess a band name
Yes.
for half credit.
Pink Floyd.
That's a good guess. It's not Pink Floyd. It is The Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin.
Okay.
Stacken.
Yep. I should have gotten both of that because honestly, that is the
You should have. It's a song about Vikings fighting and taking over
Yep.
places.
the immigrant song, and that is
And
the
you're
song
Vikings.
that we ran into at our wedding.
You ran into. Oh, it wasn't really. Was it really?
Yeah, remember like when they introduced the song,
Oh my
like
heavens.
at usher and at groom, and now the starting lineup, like the husband and wife, Mr. and Mrs. Nathan Stacken, and they played the immigrant song.
I did
For my
not remember
request.
that. That's unfortunate you didn't get this question right now.
It is very unfortunate.
You said the song.
Don't tell your wife. Do not tell
You
her.
probably just heard me.
You said the song wasn't coming to you.
Well, I knew I couldn't think of the name of it, but I knew the song.
So you said the song wasn't coming to you. Did you ever come to the song?
Oh, shut up!
I don't know how you didn't see that one coming. How did you not see?
Ah, very good, very good.
You know what? Based off that, if Krins gets half the next question right, he might just win. That may have been the tiebreaker right there.
Wait, I'm up by 2.5.
But
No, you're up by 2, not 2.5.
Oh,
your foot was on the line. Your foot was on the line.
All right, so Krins, for the win or the tie,
Fuck.
the 4-point question in British invasion songs. Lyrics. When I'm watching my TV and a man comes on and tells me how white my shirts can be, but he can't be a man because he don't smoke the same cigarettes as me. I can't get no, oh no, hey, hey, hey.
Rolling Stone Satisfaction. I win, Sacken. I win.
God
Walk-off
damn it.
win by Travis Krins. That was impressive right there.
He's leaving the room.
Just out of
My
curiosity, was it the no, hey, hey, hey that wrapped it up, or did you already know it?
Read it again. I did not know it until the end. It was like the first.
Okay, I'll read it to where I thought about stopping. When I'm watching my TV and a man comes on and tells me how white my shirts can be, but he can't be a man because he doesn't smoke the same cigarettes as me.
I would not have gotten that. I would have guessed the Rolling Stones though, because that was not guessed thus far. so we probably would have tied. Then what was the rest of it?
I thought about leaving that part on there, the no, hey.
What was
Part of
the,
me wishes I would have, but I'm glad I don't have to come up with the tiebreaker one.
what was the rest of it after the whatever, when you stopped?
The rest of it, after I stopped, it's the... Where is it? I'm on the wrong page.
I have a
I
problem
can't
with
no, hey.
I have a problem with that being the 4.1. I think that should have been the 3.1. And I would also like to say two things. First off, actually three things. First, congratulations, Crins. Well done on the walk-off. Two, I don't know how many songs that I knew that were Travis's questions, so I'm a terrible picker.
I don't think
And-
I knew one song you had that you didn't get. I didn't
And
know.
three, Charlie, you have by far the best, most creative questions. I love them.
Very good.
If there was an MVP or an award for questions,
An MVP.
trivia on this show, you would get it hands down.
Stackin, this is going to come across strange because you were nice to me at the end. I'm only referring to the very beginning. I'm going to channel Ross Geller from an episode of Friends and say, don't blame the questions.
Well,
Well, thank
I
you
do.
for your kind words.
No, I blame my picking.
Also, I came. This is probably not going to help you. I came incredibly close to when I typed it, stopping before the I can't get no, oh no, hey. And then the first time while I was reading it, I was also like, I don't know if I should put this in there. And I was like, you know what? I wrote it. I'm just going to read it.
I would not have gotten it without that, but I told Charlie I probably would have guessed the Rolling Stones just because they were not set.
Is it on you?
I don't know what I would have done for a tiebreaker question because I would have had to come up with a band that has not been used yet.
Africa by Toto.
Well, I don't think it'd be that.
Good trivia. The show is about ending about 40 minutes in. We went another 2 hours after that. Charlie Hildebrand is there. Good trivia.
I'm not going to do this again next week or in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Would you guys be intrigued by another palate cleansing, off-brand, only
Yes.
music lyrics question?
Yes.
Or possibly another sports trivia movie question?
I
Categories,
like the music.
categories are
I
good.
like. Go ahead.
Categories are good. Different points are good.
Do you like it better? Because Crins did both of these live. Stacken, you got the abridged version of the sports movie one, and I didn't even ask all of them. Do you like knowing how many points it's worth ahead of time and picking?
Yes.
Or do you like
Yes.
where you just pick a random number and you don't know how many points?
No,
it is?
I like I like knowing the points ahead of time.
Strategy. So then you pick.
All right,
Well,
so if I do it like this again, I will continue to do that with at least. There may not always be categories, but I will at least let you pick how many points you want it to be.
Both are fine. It's not like I've been given black olives and like an apple over here, one that I really love and one that I really hate. But
Or at least if there's different values, you guys want to be able to know ahead of time, as opposed to it just being a guess.
yes.
it's
'Cause I know
like
Prince does the ones
I like
where you just pick a number, but his are all worth the same
Yes.
amount of points, so it doesn't. So that's different.
yes.
What the hell was I gonna say? How many did we? Do you know how many we got right? A piece.
I'm not gonna do. I didn't do market in any way, and I don't remember for some if you got just the song or just the title right. I know Stacken got "Don't Stop Believing" by Journey. Stacken got "Total Eclipse of the Heart." You guys got "Cheers," "Friends," and "Saved by the Bell" theme song, so that's 5. I know Crin's got at least partial for both "Welcome to the Jungle" by Guns N' Roses and "Thunderstruck" by AC/DC. That's 7. Stacken got "Inner Sandman." That's 8. For British Invasion songs, Crins was the only one getting one of those right with "Satisfaction." That's 9.
I got
He also got. Oh, that's right. Okay, so that's 10. You're right, Stacken. And then "Dick in a Box" was right.
Dick in a box.
And that was so. You guys of the 20, you got 11 right
Yeah.
in some way, shape, or form.
Very good.
very good.
Lounge 220, this hockey game's 2/3 over. I hope it goes overtime. I got to go to bed pretty quick, so maybe I don't hope it's overtime. I don't know.
Just hope for a Predators win so we can have Game 7 Wednesday night.
Right there, you'll be there. Nathan Stacken, Charlie Hildebrand, Travis Crins. You don't have any drink?
Not yet. We're making it here soon, though.
That might be the problem. Next
That
week,
could
what
be-
do we got next
that's
week?
interference. That's not it.
Father's Day is next week. Internet connection may be an issue. So we'll just have to fucking see how that goes. Nathan Stacken. Charlie Hildebrand will know the winners of the finals of both of the hockey and the basketball. So the doldrums are here. Stack and I expect a full preview of the MLB draft in the blog coming up since the draft is tomorrow. And then a full recap of the...
Apparently, the Twins are going with the Louisville guy.
I've heard they're going with the Vanderbilt guy. I've not looked in the last couple of days. I guess I would rather have the Louis...
Have them going with McKay, who can either be a Harper or Clemens or a Kershaw, I believe is how.
Well, I don't know that much. He would. I would assume the Twins would use him as a pitcher, or we'll see. I hope that's the case because he's more intriguing than this random guy from Vanderbilt. So there we go. Nathan Stacken, Charlie Hildebrand, good trivia. Lots of LeBron James talk. We talked all about LeBron James. So watch the basketball tomorrow. We'll see you next week. Wish all the fathers happy birthday coming up there for Father's Day.